Yeah. Welcome in. Welcome back to another episode of the Format Podcast Live, Sunday morning edition. Yes. Good morning, y'all, on this beautiful Sunday morning. And we got some good topics for y'all here today, man. How you doing, Transformer?
Man, I'm doing all right, man. Full disclosure to everybody in the chat. I'm going to sound a little weird today. I decided to cut my yard and do a bunch of yard work yesterday, and the sinuses ain't responding too well. So if it sounds like my voice,
right? Yeah,
it's a little out of sorts. There you go. There goes your reason why, guys. But I'm doing good. Other than that, Bruce, how you doing?
I'm maintaining, man. Got some good topics today. Pretty excited to discuss them. But overall, pretty good, man. Was running around a lot yesterday, man. I had to go do a photo shoot for somebody, so it definitely delayed my prep. So that's why, a couple minutes late this morning.
Yeah, man. Things happen. We got normal lives,
Right.
Gotta go get Sid Bubba.
Good morning, Chief. How are you? Shout out to the boys from Annapolis.
Hey, goddamn right. Shout out the boys from
I got to do it. I got to do it
because they sure enough put some foots.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, he did. Good morning, Edward. How are you, my brother? You, man.
Good morning, Eddie.
God, I hate you.
Oh, man.
All right, y'all. Before we get started, man, y'all know what time it is. We're going to do the little thing, and then we're going to get right to it. If you're watching here on YouTube, make sure you go ahead, click that subscribe, that like, that notification bell. Make sure you're kept aware anytime we drop new content on the channel. If you want the audio-only version of the podcast, open up your audio podcast platform, hit the search bar, type in The Format Podcast, and we should come right up. If you enjoy the content as you listen, make sure you give us a like, a 5-star review, and drop a comment. All that stuff helps us rise in the algorithm, helps us find more sports fans, helps more sports fans find us. And write it down, put it in your phones, make a note of it. The Format Podcast is live Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern. And finally, if you're really and truly enjoying the podcast and you want to help the show continue to grow, make sure you go ahead, click that join button, join the channel. We're going to have some exclusive content just for you. All right. So yeah, let's start with the quick hits. Oh, here we go. Look who's here. All right.
Uh-oh.
Oh, all right.
Dun.
G. All right. Man, man, look like we got you returned from overseas, man. What's going on? Man. It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you.
Oh, thank you.
Man.
Thank you so much.
You gonna get the good news about your daughter, man? You gonna share that?
Oh no, that ain't good news, man. That's SOP. That's SOP, shorty.
Hey, I just want her to get the love she deserves. What she out here doing, man?
She's killing me, dog.
Right there, that Rico lie did it.
They didn't start traveling yet.
Okay,
practicing, but that's like the additional 3 practice. You thought the season was over, and then they jumped back into AAU, and then from AAU, they in Kentucky, they in Houston, Philly.
Okay.
They traveling.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, hey, look, for those who don't know what we're talking about, man, let them know what it is.
Oh yeah, my daughter plays 16 under for Team Mello AAU.
Word.
Yeah, that's love right there.
Like D Mello or like La Mello?
Like
no, the real Mello.
Like the Mello, like D Mello. Yeah. It's the difference between D and La.
You're right.
Yeah, man. It's she doing her thing. I'm proud of her.
Absolutely.
Bro. Yes, sir.
That's awesome, man. We want to just make sure we show some love to young Miss Genius on the Format Podcast, man. Out there.
Go ahead and type in the chat, man. Salute to Baby G. Baby G.
Out there killing them. That's love, man. No doubt. All right, well, let's go ahead and knock down these quick hits. Transform, you want to start it off? Because honestly, I already forgot the quick hits we just discussed.
Oh my gosh. Well, I forgot your quick hit. I remember mine. All right. So NFL Insider exposes who's blocking the Aaron Rodgers to Steelers agreement. As you guys have known, Aaron Rodgers has been cut from the New York Jets and has been searching back and forth for his home. Meanwhile, every other team in the NFL is striking at gold and getting their guy, getting their player, or perhaps making their way to prepare for the draft. So Aaron Rodgers narrowed his search down to a couple of teams, and one of the teams kind of turned their back on him, one being the Minnesota Vikings. He's been trying to flirt with them, saying, hey, sign me. We can go far. Minnesota said, pardon my back real quick, and went ahead and beyond their business. The biggest roadblock about Aaron Rodgers being signed has been him not willing to commit after teams have definitely expressed that they are very, very interested in signing him. So lately it's been only the Pittsburgh Steelers and the New York Giants. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had a meeting on Fridays for 6 hours at the facility. He got a chance to talk to Mike Tomlin, Omar Khan, and Art Rooney at the facility, giving them resolution that they perhaps may sign him. But the deal has not yet happened, and Rodgers' agent David Dunn carefully weighed his options and controlled the timeline while Pittsburgh is eager to make it official. It all comes down to when and if Rodgers finally decides to commit. So, again, we're waiting on Aaron Rodgers to make a decision. Meanwhile, the rest of the NFL is continuing about their business. They're signing who they can sign. They're getting players while they can get players. Meanwhile, Steelers are sitting there with their hands in their pocket. Like, is it Mason Rudolph or is it going to be Aaron Rodgers as our quarterback? So, guys, what do you guys think about this whole debacle of Rodgers literally holding up, essentially, I would say the league, but a few teams to continue on about their process?
Gee, go ahead, man. I'm going to let you go first.
Man, it's just typical stuff to keep the NFL in the buzz this time of year. It's March Madness right now, and Aaron Rodgers is definitely one of those guys that draw a lot of attention for the NFL. And so, anytime they can keep the NFL in their mouth, they're gonna try to do it, man. I don't think it's a thing where he's not gonna sign with a team. Is the biggest question is what type of Aaron Rodgers gonna show up day one. Is he going to be able to ball? So all this attention that he's drawing, not really sure if, the Steelers are like, they didn't roll out the red carpet and say, here's a bunch of money. He was like, oh, this is a deal I can't pass up. So I don't know, man. I still think Russell Wilson should be their quarterback.
And Russell Wilson is currently was just in Cleveland, had a meeting with Cleveland. Nothing has come about that because the Giants, I think the Giants have now signed
James
Winston. There you go.
That was the other quick hit.
Was that the quick hit? My bad.
The other one, we're good.
That's a segue. That's a segue to that quick hit right there.
Let me hold on, G. Let me respond to that real quick. What you just said, I agree with what you're saying. The only thing I'll say is, and I've said this before, remember, when you're coming off a major injury like an Achilles or a knee or something like that, it's never the year you get back. It's always the year after that. And the only caveat when you're dealing with Rodgers is obviously he's 40, right? So he's old now, and you may not recover the same from that. But even still, you're looking at a guy who is easily a top 10 quarterback of all time. Some people have him top 5. I don't, but still he's a top 10 quarterback of all time. And now Pittsburgh has 2 legitimate downfield weapons. So you're thinking, okay, you give a guy like that those type of weapons and he maybe can lift Pittsburgh to, at the very least, their first playoff win in the last, 10 years? It's been a long time. So
it's been a while.
I think that's, I believe.
Then they lose their running back, Najee Harris.
Yeah, he went to the
Chargers.
Mm-hmm. I mean, but you can always draft one or something like that. So, but yeah, so that's my thought on that. But yeah, my bad.
Very easy. Y'all got to deal with it now. Got tired of stuff in Green Bay, man. Like, come on, man. This is not. I don't think this is the NFL. This is Aaron Rodgers. This is Aaron. He's done this for years and years and years, and boy, did I get tired of it. I got tired of it. Holding up Green Bay. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to sign. I don't know if I'm going to retire. I don't know if I'm going to go on a retreat. I don't know if I want to smoke. I don't know if I want to do blow. I don't know what he wants to do. It's like it's always waiting on something. Like, bro, you here and all. Because the other 52 guys are here. They waiting. Like we're trying to see what we want to do. Because if we get you, we may have to get another piece. Look for a tight end. That switches up our whole draft. Like, what are we going to do for our draft? Are we going to pick a quarterback high? Or can we wait to that second, third round because we have a bridge quarterback to probably wait until another season to worry about a quarterback? Or I need a running back. What type of running back is going to fit this system? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to have Mason freaking Rudolph or I'm going to have Aaron freaking Rodgers. Like, I don't know which one I got. Like, so here he goes doing this stuff again.
Correct. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Again. Sounds like a Favre when he was getting older. Exactly.
He followed that playbook. Isn't that amazing? Like to the T. And he was trying to go to Minnesota. So, yeah, that was crazy.
Forget him. Anyway, same old Rodgers, just different story. Different team. Excuse me.
Second quick hit, though. Excuse me, y'all. Second quick hit. We have Jameis Winston going to the Giants, I think, on a 2-year, $8 million deal. And that is Wooded, you stupid. We'll get to it. But no, that's I think that was an interesting move because Jameis can still go, right? And remember, Jameis is a guy when given opportunity and given weapons, he can really light it up. I think the key is you've got to find a way to rein in the turnovers with him, right? Because obviously Brian Daboll, outstanding quarterbacks guy. And when he was, remember, that was the biggest knock on Josh Allen was the turnovers. And when Brian Daboll got him, he helped him calm down the turnovers, and that helped Josh Allen really elevate his level of play. Then when Brian Daboll left, the turnovers went back up. And finally, when he got the turnovers down to a more than manageable level, was he end up doing getting an MVP. But transform, you stupid. He can't get it going back and forth. He got to stay there the whole time. But anyway, I think that Jameis could be he could be a very solid quarterback there. And also that gives you time if you were to draft somebody at third. Shadur Sanders, anybody? If you were to do that, then what happens is, pardon me, you were to do that. I'm good. If you were to draft Shadur Sanders at third overall, or whoever you draft at third, if it's a quarterback, that gives them the opportunity to sit for a while until either Jameis gets injured or his play and turnovers forces the young guy to get in. But at least he gets to see a pro and not have to be, into the fire right away. So, yeah, I think it's a good move.
Yeah, man. I like anywhere Jameis Winston goes, man. That dude is a bundle of energy. He's positive in the locker room, even despite his career starting off at a rocky start for the crab legs in Florida State. But
strange dietary habits.
very, very, very strange.
I don't know, man. The stuff this guy eats is kind of.
Hey, but when his number's called, he performs. I like that about him. When his number's called, he's in the huddle. If he's in charge of the huddle, he's motivating the huddle. The speeches, the post-game speeches, the pre-game speeches. I'm like, you want to play for this dude. Like, even though, he's not, as elite that what he once was when he played for Florida State or at his prime, I would say, when he played for Tampa. I mean, the kid, just his energy makes you want to play for him. Like, all right, man. All right, let's go. Let's go.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think it's a good move for the Giants, man, as they're bridging to try to find the next quarterback. So
no doubt. You know what? Salam, Sneed, that's funny that you just popped up right after Edward made his statement in the chat. So we're going to address this real quick. Yeah, I have noticed that the Cavs lost 4 games in a row, and that's interesting. I don't know if there's an injury thing going on there or if it's a kind of late season malaise in terms of waiting to get to the playoffs as the number 1 seed in the East. I'm unsure what's going on there, but that 4 losses in a row, it may be confusing. So we'll see what ends up happening with them.
I think everybody goes through a little slump. I mean, 4-game slump. They're pretty much secured in the playoffs. They're going to be a formidable opponent when they get to the playoffs. I have them. They're second in the East right now. First in the East, excuse me. First in the East right now. I don't think, this 4 games even changes. Boston even catching them, I don't believe. I got to look at the standings to double check, but they're going to be all right. It's just a bad 4-game losing streak. You got about 10 more games before the playoffs start. They got time to pick it up.
I think it's, as Snead says, it's also bad timing because you don't want it at this point in the season. But this is also a team that has, I believe, multiple 15-game win streaks during this season. So,
correct.
When they turn it on, they can play extremely well. But we'll find out.
Correct. Yeah.
Man, I gotta tell y'all, man. I'm sorry, I'm butt in real quick.
You're good, man.
The NCAA men's tournament this year, man. It's some good games. I know y'all don't follow. Well,
I just watched.
Yeah, I've been watching.
I watch
when I'm at the gym.
Over like 68 years old, he just started watching NCAA. Man, he's like, "Hey, listen, I like he'll watch it, and then he'll be like, oh no, I need my caveman movies,' and then he turn back on to the Western. Like, I got him watching it, man. It's some really, really good games that's on, man. It's teams that I thought that was going to win, they lost.
I was disappointed to see St. John's lose yesterday, man.
Yeah, I saw Memphis lose, and I was like, dang, bro. They got cooked.
You know who they lost against, though? I mean, you know who Patino lost against, right?
Calipari, Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas dusted them.
Number 8 seed beat the number 2 seed. Like, I mean, that's got kind of calm. I don't know if that was the biggest upset. I think the biggest failure was a team lost by like 80 points or something like that.
Which one was that? I didn't even see that one. Dang.
That was what it was. It lost by 80, bro.
Like, why was you invited? Who brought you here?
It was a online school.
Some AAU team.
I saw who is this? I think Duke won by 4 in their first game.
Yeah. Duke smashed in their first game.
Mm-hmm. Merlin, man. People sleeping on Merlin.
I don't think anybody's sleeping on Maryland, but
he played like Jokic.
Here we go. Oh my God. Here we go.
Oh, Florida played like UConn today.
He got a bag, shorty. He got a bag. You can't take that from him.
Well, we'll see what he does on the next level.
I'm trying to figure out who got dusted by that much in the tournament game.
What's up, Steve? Morning, brother.
I know Florida beat the crap out of Norfolk State. Man, that was a blowout.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, go ahead, find that, and then we'll go ahead and get to these main topics.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Let me see, 30 points. Yeah. 21, 20.
Hating. Who's hating?
38. I mean,
who's hating? You know what?
You sure that was in a tournament, G? Yeah. Like, was it not the tournament? Probably a previous tournament.
No.
Like the division tournaments.
That's me a second.
Yeah.
I said, hold on, give me a second. I got you.
Oh. I was like, what was that?
I'm still bugging that the SEC got 14 teams in the tournament. That's insane. Mr. Kareem, what's going on? How you doing, brother? Brooklyn, stand up. What's going on?
Not like that during the football season.
Laker Nation, I'm not hating on anybody, man. You gotta stop this. I'm definitely not hating on the kid. I mean, he can play. Cool. How I don't understand how that's hating.
What kid?
Who are you talking about?
Derek.
Who?
Derek Queen from Maryland. He from BMO.
Oh, okay.
I get inundated and bombarded with material about this kid from Bruce.
Okay.
Oh man.
Maybe they were down big, G, and probably made it a little bit closer at the end. That's probably what we looking at.
Which one was that?
Yeah.
No, because he was talking about the team that was blown out by 80. Whatever.
I might have been tripping. I'll be tripping sometime.
No, you know there's always blowouts, man. Them high-low seed games in the tournament to start.
No, but I mean it sounded more like what he said. They was down big, and then
they probably made it a little bit closer.
Right.
Anyway,
like 80, bro. Like 80, bro. Y'all don't even need to be in the tournament no more ever.
Right.
You excommunicado.
Man. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it, man. So, Shedeur Sanders, we know a lot of people have him, a lot of experts and analysts have him as the QB2 in this particular draft. And I have him as QB1. I think he's the best, but I think a lot of the experts prefer Cam Ward's physical traits. And okay, that's fine. I just think watching what Shedeur has been able to do behind a patchwork offensive line the last 2 years, his ability to read it, make plays downfield, stand there in the face of pressure, throw down the barrel. I think is really, really impressive. Sharp kid when it comes to quarterback, and even though he may not be the elite physical specimen, but that's okay. So when he went to the combine, we started hearing. Well, we've been hearing maybe the last month or two that his draft position is slipping, and when he went to the combine, we're hearing people, I guess, complaining because he had gold chains on, he had his hat to the back, and they were saying, pushing the stuff that he's arrogant and this and that, and so maybe, excuse me, maybe a lot of people weren't necessarily feeling his vibe in terms of being a possible franchise guy for their team, right? And I get it. If you're drafting somebody as a franchise QB, then you're putting a whole lot of money into them going forward, right? Especially if you draft him as high as he could possibly go. So there's a lot of bread involved there, and you want a guy that for 10, 15 years can lead your franchise both on and off the field, give the right quote unquote appearance, say the right things at the mic, because he's the voice of the team in terms of on the field, right? Then you got the head coach and you got the GM. So a lot of people don't necessarily like what how Shedeur Sanders, I guess, presents himself. I don't know. But we're also hearing that from other angles that some of that has to do with Coach Prime, his dad, Deion Sanders, right? One of the greatest players in history, one of the greatest football players in history. A lot of people say one of the greatest athletes in history. I don't know if I go that far, but yes, he is an absolutely incredible athlete. I think he was also all-state in basketball in high school. So I think he could have played college basketball as well. But we know he played Major League Baseball and NFL football at the same time, which is freaking crazy.
In the playoffs.
And a matter of fact, I think he played 2 games on the same day.
Yeah.
Which is even more absurd.
I think that was a World Series. I want to say that was a World Series game.
Right. You might be right.
Yeah.
Yeah. He played the game and he got on the plane, or, whichever it was. But he played 2 games in 2 different professional leagues on the same day, some we've never seen before. But regardless, I wanted to kind of get into this topic a little bit. So first, before we even play any of this sound, I wanted to get you guys' thoughts on what you think about Shedeur Sanders in terms of where he is in terms of the quarterbacks that are coming out, and what you think he can be on the next level. G, I'll start with you.
All right, cool. So I'm just going to talk about his dad and what his dad was able to do, just briefly, and then I'm going to talk about Shedeur and what I think is going on right now. His dad is a phenomenal athlete and a great coach. I think him being able to do what he did at Jackson State and then moving over to Colorado, and then there was even buzz of him, coaching in the NFL. Take my son. I moved to Shedeur now, where you start to see Shedeur with owners, right? He popping up with owners, shaking hands, kissing babies. I think what we're saying right now is misinformation. Teams want him to drop so they can pick him up. And I mean, we say it all the time, right? Oh, he can't do this, he can't do that. And then before you know it, I mean, I don't know who's going number 1 right now because, you just can't tell. But teams know who they want. And I don't think his father has anything to do with him, with hurting his stock. If anything, I think they looking for that next big player. And I don't think it's a nepotism thing either. I don't want to get into that. I don't think it's a nepotism thing. Sure to get on he out there, and like you said, he had a suspect line. He was able to get things done and get sacked multiple games, but still like having that game-winning drive. And so I wouldn't want to see Shedeur in a situation where he's starting year 1. Some of the best athletes, they sit for a little bit, learn the playbooks, and then get
at least
going.
half the season.
Yeah, that's my views.
No, I agree. Transforming your thoughts.
I like everything that G said. This is smoke and mirrors.
Okay.
Smoke and mirrors. You're trying to get this man. There's not a team in the top 5 picks who ain't trying and clawing to get that kid. You can't tell me nothing. All right. What you saw him do at Jackson State, to G's point, what you saw him do at Jackson State, what you saw him do at Colorado, you saw every box get checked. Every box get checked. Does he have the drive? Can he scramble out the pocket? Can he throw on a dime? Can he throw on the move? Is he a comeback kid? Is he gonna shy away from the game after they're down 2 touchdowns? Does he have great legs? Does he have great awareness in the pocket? The man got tackled he got sacked every single game. Yeah. Every single game. And yet the man put up 74 completion percentage, 4,134 yards, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 168.2 quarterback rating.
Yeah.
That's the quarterback that got sacked every game.
Yeah, and I think the year prior, his first year at Colorado, he got sacked the most in the country. Also had I think a plus 70% completion percentage.
69.3 if they want to get petty.
Pardon me, 69.3. Still elite. Yeah. And on top of that, single digit interceptions in that first season. So
only 3.
What can we say?
So the tape is there. You see the numbers is there. The boy's poise is there. You see his father. The ultimate confidence you've ever seen in a draft pick was Deion Sanders. Gold chain, Jerry curled up, like, hey, bro, I'm here.
I think the difference is, though, you're looking at a defensive back and a quarterback, right? So, in terms of how people are saying how that franchise is perceived, right? The quarterback is the guy that has to stand in front of that microphone after each game, and a cornerback can not, right? Like that's a different thing in terms of the leadership value of that position and being front facing as a member of that team.
Yeah, but I also want a quarterback that's going to stand his own ground too.
Yeah, I get it. No, I definitely get it. And Laker Nation, he's been working on that. He's been working on that since last year. He got one of the best O-linemen in the country last year, and he's continuing to build that. So I hear you.
Yep.
Real quick,
that next kid's nice at quarterback. That light-skinned boy, I forget his name.
Okay, Edward. Okay, I see you, brother. You're improving. I see you. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, that's right, Edward. Yeah, you're getting right.
Stop it.
That's from Illmatic, man. That's classic material right there, man.
But why? What's the reference here?
It's not.
The purpose here?
He try and get attention.
And he got it. That's
he got it.
Sure. He got it.
Okay.
What did he say?
No, let's hear what they were discussing this on First Take. Let's hear what Shannon Sharp has to say, and then we'll hear what noted ESPN guru, draft quote unquote guru Mel Kiper had to say about Shedeur. So we'll start with Shannon Sharp discussing Coach Prime, and then we'll go to the next one.
Look, he hears everything that people have been saying. Oh, he's going to fall out of the top 10. He's going to fall out of the top 15. He might slide into the second round. He hears all of that. He understands that a lot of this criticism comes from the fact that they're upset at him, so they take it out on his kids. But at the end of the day, he knows there's nothing else he can do now. All he can say is that I've raised my kids the best way I know how. I've tried to put them in the best situation, knowing they've had that Sanders name since birth, and they understand everything that comes along with that Sanders name, the good, the bad, and the indifferent. So now it's just about Shedeur going out there, being and doing what we know he can do, being who I know who he is. And so time has just said, look, I'm not stressed. I'm blessed. I'm blessed to be coaching, to be the head coach at CU. I'm blessed to have have a beautiful family, kids. DeAndre just gave birth to his first grandchild. Bucky's doing a great job with the social media aspect, and he got 2 kids about to go to the NFL. He's like, I'm blessed. I'm highly favored. All that other stuff that people talk about, that don't even concern me. But my kids, I prepared my kids for all of this, and so they're going to be prepared to handle any adversity that comes their way.
So I definitely like that, because he's Coach Prime is hearing all this stuff, and I guess he's kind of being forced to respond. He's not going too tough. I think I heard like yesterday or the day before, he said something along the lines of he knows who it is that's kind of spreading these negative comments in the media about Shedeur. He didn't say a name, but I'm like, well, you know who it is. Did you call him up, or are you going to put it out there? Like, what's the deal? I would have liked to know. I mean, he doesn't have any reason to keep that quiet, right?
Nope.
He's not a journalist. That's not a source. Go ahead, tell us. We want to know.
We want to know the exact name so we can flame him up too.
Right. I want to know who that is. Yeah. So as a side note, Transformer, your guy Cavante, who defensive coach at former state champion here in Florida, Mandarin High School, we were talking about Shedeur a couple weeks ago, And he's not high on Shedeur at all. He's, one of the things that he says is about how Shedeur holds the ball too long and causes a lot of his own sacks. And I'm thinking like, yeah, there may be something to that, but also
they're throwing deep routes.
That's what I was about to say. There's a lot of downfield passing concepts in that offense Pat Shurmur was running. So, two things can be true, like I always say, right? Are there times he holds the ball too long? Yes, and we'll hear Mel Kiper discuss that in a second. But at the same time, like, you got to look at what's being run. And then also, we got to look at it this way, too. They didn't really have much of a running game to lean on to try and, change up what the defense was going to do. So, there's different factors at play there that affected some of what Shedeur was doing at Colorado. But, yeah. So let's go to Mel Kiper and what he had to say. He was on Get Up with Greeny, Mike Greenberg on ESPN, and he had some comments on Shedeur as well.
That's a great fit, Greeny. I think the pressure, the expectation.
When he talks about that's a great fit, Greeny had just asked him what he thought about Shedeur Sanders going to New York Giants at number 3, if they were to take him at number 3. So he says it's a great fit.
The big stage, the bright lights. He's dealt with all that. That's Shedeur Sanders. That's who he is. That's what he's all about. At Jackson State, he was phenomenal. At Colorado, he was outstanding. Because he got too many sacks. Guess what? Over those 2 years, he completed 72% of his passes, 74% this past year. He never had a game less than 60% completion percentage, yet he was harassed. He was under duress all the time.
That is crazy.
So many interceptions at Jackson State or at Colorado. So when you look at what he did there, despite having a poor, horrible offensive line 2 years ago, and not a great one this past year, he still lit it up, and he managed a game, and he won this past year at Colorado. So for Shedeur Sanders, I think he's a perfect fit. You got a coach, a GM picking their guy, getting their quarterback with the Giants in a division with Hurts and Prescott and the emerging superstar in Jaden Daniels. You got to close that gap. You got to get right where those teams are, and I think Shedeur Sanders would give them that opportunity.
For people who haven't seen a lot of him and don't follow, live in it day in, day out the way you do, with Shedeur Sanders, if there's a knock on him, it's the physical traits, right? He's not huge. He's not incredibly fast. But what he is extraordinarily good at the quarterbacking stuff, right? I'm taking all of this directly from you. All the processing, all the reading, all that stuff, that's his superpower.
Yeah, he's got to get a little tick faster in terms of getting the ball out. He can't take sacks in the NFL. You're behind a chains, you're behind the sticks, and you're in those second and long, third and long. It's over. You're giving up drives. And you don't have a lot of drives in the National Football League, right? So you got to make them count. So Shedeur's got to obviously improve in that area, but certainly being able to look at a gun barrel, make throws when you're being pressured, be able to manage a game and not turn it over. He didn't. The interception numbers were low. The accuracy was incredible. And the leadership that he'll bring, this whole notion it's going to be this big circus, it's all about Deion. It was never about Deion. Deion was a great teammate in the NFL and with the Atlanta Braves in Major League Baseball. He didn't bring any of that. Last time I checked, remember, John Elway manipulated the draft. Eli Manning manipulated the draft. Shedeur Sanders, what's he saying? Hey, I just want to come in the NFL and lead a football team. So this whole Deion Shedeur stuff is overhyped. It's not accurate. And Shedeur Sanders is all about winning. He's a tremendous game manager. I think he's a hell of a quarterback.
There you go. I agree with that a lot. Caesar.
I figured, I'm like, oh, Caesar must see something because he's going off now.
Back doors. What's up, man?
Caesar concur. He trying to get on the show.
He got to get his 15 seconds of fame.
I know. But yeah, so I think I agree a lot with what Kiper has to say about Shedeur. And I think, again, I said what I had to say, but at this point, it's going to be, is it smoke and mirrors like G says, or is there really some kind of negative scuttlebutt out there about him that people are believing? So it's now going to be all about where does he land, and wherever he lands, does he get the coaching that he needs and the support around him to be successful? We'll find out.
I got a question for you. Do you think Shedeur is top 5 in quarterbacks? One of the top 5 quarterbacks in this draft.
In this draft?
Yeah, in this draft.
Oh, I got him at my QB1.
All right. Do you think there's 5 teams that could really use a quarterback?
Yes.
I guess
this is a no-brainer, yo. Like, I know they dipping and diving, trying to get something to talk about, man. This would be the ultimate snub of all snubs
Giants.
if he didn't go top 5, man. And we seen it happen in the NFL. It doesn't matter. Sometimes teams want certain types of players to run their offense and be the face of their team. I don't think the Raiders are going to have an issue with drafting him. I don't think the Giants will have an issue. Giants, like the Browns. I don't think any of these teams wouldn't want to get better, and especially in the AFC. Like now I did hear about the boy Monroe. What's his first name?
Jalen Monroe from Alabama.
Jalen Milroe. Yeah.
Horrible.
He's not horrible.
Athlete, yes.
Yeah. And he's a great ball thrower, but other than that, he needs a lot of work. Definitely a project type guy.
We're definitely sitting him for 2 years.
I think they say he ran an unofficial 4.37.
Yeah, at quarterback, which is crazy.
Yeah,
he'll turn that ball over like it ain't no tomorrow.
Yeah, but I mean, he can push it downfield though. He definitely can push it downfield. But other than that, he needs a lot of work on his touch and his going through progressions and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But
it's a pretty light draft for quarterbacks, is what I was trying to say. Pretty light draft for quarterbacks.
Yeah, as especially as compared to last year. Yeah. Definitely. But again, we'll see what happens. All right, let's go ahead. We'll take a couple calls on this real quick. We'll take 2 calls and then we'll move right along to the next topic. Y'all know the number, 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. Call in, give us your thoughts on Shedeur Sanders, what you think about him. Do you think being Coach Prime's son may be playing into some of the negative stuff you hear about him? Do we think that may affect his draft stock? You know what else is something I thought about, though? Not even necessarily in terms of affecting where he gets drafted. Do you think that there may be some teams out there that may not want to deal with, say I draft Shedeur Sanders and maybe he's not being coached in a way that Coach Prime thinks is the right way for his son, or he doesn't have the weapons. Like, Coach Prime has a powerful voice in sports, and if he feels something, he's going to talk it, right? Especially if he gets asked about it, right? He might be in a Colorado press conference and somebody asks him, hey, Coach Prime, you see your son Shedeur, he's struggling. Do you have any thoughts on that? He might mess around and say it. And do you think that might be something that, NFL GMs might not want to be dealing with?
Do y'all want a talent? Go ahead, G. My bad. Go ahead.
I think Dion already called him and told him my son is never playing for you. He'll never play for your team.
Maybe.
I almost remember him being on wax saying that, like, they doing a comparison, like, nah, my son wouldn't play there, like places like, I don't know, Tennessee somewhere.
Well, maybe that would be interesting.
Well, they just paid $250 for a quarterback out here. I don't think they sound.
That's good.
Miami. I thought he was supposed to go to Miami.
I think they paid Tua though. They extended.
They just paid Tua.
They paid Tua.
I wouldn't have paid Tua.
He got $240.
But you know what though? And we talked about this just before we get to the next topic. I was never a Tua guy, but I had to admit what Tua does for that offense. Like we saw last year when he was out, they turned to straight dog poo. You know what I'm saying? And
offense was anemic.
Tyrod Taylor or somebody.
Bro,
no, I'm sorry, not Tyrod. The other dude, other Florida dude. That was last time we saw him too. Back up for Lamar.
Is it James? No, James Johnson? Josh Johnson?
No. Before that, the dude from Utah. He played at University of Utah.
I know who you're talking about. I can't.
He did play for y'all. I can't remember.
He was Pro Bowl. He won. He played in the Pro Bowl, which doesn't mean anything. But
he was about like the 5th alternate.
yeah.
But he did make it. He can say I got voted to the Pro Bowl. So, but no. But yeah, this Shedeur would be crazy in Miami, but it is. But anyway,
talk about the buzz would be ridiculous.
Well, I mean, I don't think the buzz would be any bigger than it's going to be in New York if he goes there. I just, in terms of having those weapons in Miami, that's what I mean. Yeah. But, okay, looks like we're not going to get any calls on this topic. We'll go ahead. And this one was interesting to me. Let's get to T. Higgins, right? So we talked about T. Higgins being what? I guess we could say the best number 2 in football, right? Can we agree on that? I think so.
No, QB 1B. I mean, wide receiver 1B. Wide receiver 1B.
No, I think he's clearly a number 2 on that team. I don't think he's a 1B.
1B. You heard it from Jamal Chase. 1B.
Of course. Okay, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase is too far ahead of T. Higgins for him to be Higgins be 1B. But that's cool that they all get along. That's cool. And Jamar Chase said the right thing, right? But we see T. Higgins here doing his thing. And Joe Burrow was adamant that T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, and what's the defensive guy's name? The defensive end.
Trey Hendrickson.
Trey Hendrickson, thank you. He was adamant that the Bengals try to get all those guys back. And, the Bengals originally had franchised T. Higgins, and then a week later, they ended up paying him, giving him the quote-unquote bag, right? But now we're hearing that in typical NFL fashion, the way this contract is structured, it's not the bag that we all thought or that the way it was reported. So let's hear the Odd Couple talk about this, and then we'll come back and discuss it, because I definitely was fooled. I was like, okay, because when we talked about it, the details of the contract weren't out yet in terms of the full breakdown. But let's hear what they have to say, and then we'll go forward.
You recall last week we talked about it on the show. T. Higgins and Jamar Chase secured the bag from Cincinnati, right? Mm-hmm. Jamar Chase became the highest paid non-quarterback in NFL history, and reportedly, T. Higgins became the highest paid number 2 receiver in the NFL. It was reported at the time that he got a 4-year, $115 million deal, and the first 2 years were guaranteed. Only problem is when the terms of the deal were released and members of the media who are good at this kind of thing were able to dive into it and figure out the nuts and bolts of it all. Pro Football Talk's Mike Florio figured out that deal is not 4 years, 115 as we knew. It's not even 4 years, 55. He didn't even get a Sam Darnold deal. The way this contract works actually is basically a 1-year deal for T. Higgins. He's going to get realistically right around $36 million in 2025 with signing bonuses, roster bonus, so on and so forth. However, the Cincinnati Bengals, if they wanted to, could cut bait with him after the season and not have any more guaranteed money after 2025.
And the bottom line is still, this has something to do with the players. This is the bed you've made, right? You've allowed this to happen. You know how long it would take to have guaranteed contracts?
One season they don't suit up.
There you go. It wouldn't even take that long. All right, they would cave before that.
Week 6. All right.
Okay. We're losing. Look how much money have we lost through 6 weeks?
TV companies calling NFL. I didn't sign up for this.
Exactly. Where's my money?
I didn't sign up for this.
Do you see what I'm saying? Like it's unfortunate that they don't understand it or they don't see it. But you got to be able to work as a group and speak as one. And until you do that, you will continue to do this. These guys are bragging and they're reporting all these contracts. Juan Soto's getting $765, right? Every dime.
Yep.
Bobby Bonilla is still getting his money, right?
He's sitting seat up every year getting that million.
Getting that $1 million every single year. Come on, man. How? And all the NFL does is brag about how much money it makes and rubs it in the player's face. I've never seen anything like it.
So,
No. What did he say Juan Soto make?
$765.
God.
Yeah, I think he was with the Yankees. I think he went to the Mets.
Baby girl, suit up. We'll get you back. I got the ball. But yeah,
We changed the sports.
What?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
You're a baseball fan, Edward? Well, you ain't going to get any of that talk on this channel, man. I got to tell you. That's never going to happen. Maybe not never, but yeah, nah.
When the playoffs start and the Dodgers are in it, I'm talking. But during the season, I'm like, oh, man, it's just too many games, bro. Too many games.
Just, in my humble opinion, a very boring sport, very difficult to watch. But that's a whole nother story.
In person, it's fun, actually.
Everyone says that, but if I can't watch you on TV, I'm not trying to pay to go see you. So
it's too slow on TV. It's way too slow.
Yeah.
You at bat, then all right, cool. Now we waiting on the next person. It takes time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all right, cut the commercial.
Yep.
But when you're at the game, it's like so much happening. You're like, oh man, this is actually dope in person. On TV, yeah, it's like it's trash. Until you get to the World Series and you're waiting on everything. The anticipation is there during the season.
What is this? Go blue, go blue. That's Michigan, man. What is this? Go blue.
Dodgers are blue.
Yes, I know they're blue, but go blue is Michigan. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so let me get your thoughts. Transform, I'm gonna start with you this time, then we'll go to G. First, let me get your thoughts on the T. Higgins contract. What do you think? Because the whole point of him not wanting to be franchised was to get the long-term security, and it appears from this breakdown that we just heard that he didn't get this long-term security. So first, what do you think of this deal? And do you think he got played, or you think, he could have had 26 mil this year, but this year he's getting 36 mil, being that he signed
46. I'm doing the breakdown now. If he finishes out the first year, it'll be 43.8 in his first year.
Okay.
That's what he'll get. So in a sense, he got a raise from what had been the franchise tag, which is about
right.
26.5.
26.
Yeah, 26 million. So that's a significant raise as far as your first year. I would then want to ask him, what was your goal here? Right? Because if your goal was long-term security with this school, I would have asked to get traded a long time ago. If this was a contract. I'm looking at my agent like, yo, look, I'm a long-term security and I want to stay with this team. Right now, the Cincinnati Bengals have an out. If they trade you next year, not this year, it has to be after the 2025 season.
Right.
They off the hook. You got no guaranteed money. So you're off the hook. Yep. That base salary, they're going to eat that thing up. I think his base salary is about 2026. Base salary, 10.9 million. Unguaranteed. They could trade that quick.
Yeah.
And get you up out of there. So
the deal is great for them. No question.
Yeah, the deal is amazing for them. They're like, okay, man, let's give you a bunch of money up front. They're gonna give this thing another year, figure it out. Like, okay, Joe Burrow, we gonna work with you. We got you, we got Jamar Chase. All right, cool. That's a non-negotiable right there. We'll give T. Higgins another year. If you guys can offensively carry us to the playoffs, meanwhile, we're trying to let Golden figure out what to do with our defense back here. Go Irish. I beat you. Go ahead. Bow, bow. All right. Let him figure out what's going on with our defense. If this doesn't work, we cutting bait. Next season, he's traded because we can't afford a high caliber receiver, the highest caliber number 2 receiver, and try to work on our defense. We can't do that, Joe. Unless you want him to take a pay cut.
Well, he didn't say take a pay cut, but Joe Burrow did say he was willing to restructure.
They can do that to give T long-term security, but they didn't.
Yeah, they definitely could do that. But what it is Mike Brown, notoriously cheap owner. I'm sure the easiest way to do it is move some of that money around and make it so that it goes into bonuses. But you got to pay the bonuses up front instead of, you got to put the bonus money in escrow, and that's what happens. And so he doesn't want to do that, even though he has plenty of money. But anyway, different story. But no, I think that man, he did make a little more, but this is tough. But what happens if he goes off? Then he's going to demand a new contract anyway. He's going to say, hey, rework me. You know what I'm saying? Pause. He's going to rework this contract. G, man, what are your thoughts on this T. Higgins?
I think the contract is advantageous to the owners. I was questioning, like, who was his agent to get this going? But just looking at the Bengals and the pieces that they really need, they could have afforded to lose T. Higgins if they was able to get somebody that will help them stop either the run or the pass on defense, because a lot of their games that they lost was because of defense. And so that's probably why this contract looked the way it does. I'd like to see him stay there, but I don't think he's happy. I'm looking at this contract and I'm like, yeah, I got the bread up front, but there's no job security here. You know what I mean? There's no job security here. But I mean, if he cook anyway, now he can demand a trade or I don't know. He gonna need to be re-signed. They're gonna have to do something else, rework his contract. I think this is the last year at the Bengals, given everyone's healthy. Everyone stays healthy. There's not much there.
Right. So I agree with all of what you said, Chi. What I'll say, though, to me, this seems like the focus was less on building out the team that can compete to win a championship, and more so keeping Joe Burrow happy, because that's your guy. That's your guy that helped you onto a Super Bowl run that I always say literally came down to the last minute and pretty much the last play, right? And so I think it's a situation where had you don't want to piss off Joe Burrow, and then because the reporting was that if he's not happy and believes that the team is not doing what they need to do in order to try and win, because he thinks that having his weapons and then having Trey Hendrickson on the other side is going to put the team in position to win. He believes that if they don't, it was reported that if he thinks that they're not pushing towards that winning, that he would have asked out after next season. So I don't know. I think that they understood. They know how many Joe Burrow, jerseys they're moving. They know that Joe Burrow is getting sellouts. They know the metrics on how much money they made on that playoff run all the way to the Super Bowl. What's that? 3-4 years ago now. But they saw how much money that makes, and they know that they can't afford to lose Joe Burrow, who is going to likely go down as the best quarterback in the history of that franchise. So they're trying to figure out how to toe this line of keeping him happy, but not breaking the bank and, giving out this money that they don't want to give out. That's my thought.
I think you're correct.
Yeah.
The whole threat, Joe Burrow made the biggest threat to them.
Mm-hmm.
I'll leave. Then what?
Right. Then what?
Then what?
Then you back in the draft. You back in the top 5 picks.
You back at square one with a $40 million receiver.
Right.
You back at square one.
Unless you could pull off some miracle. Who knows? Get a trade or get something. I don't know. But yeah, so that's my thought. But let's on the second part of this topic, onto the bigger point of so again, I'm a two things can be true. I'm a try to see both sides type guy. So we talk about these terrible contracts in the NFL, and Rob Parker always talks about how the NFL players just need to put their foot down and they need to suffer for 1 year to get this thing right in terms of getting the fully guaranteed and getting the proper health benefits and such, right? And I always say that in a labor holdout, players versus owners are always going to win, because most owners have multiple revenue streams and players not nearly as much. And obviously most owners are billionaires, players are millionaires in most cases, right? Even with that said, though, Rob made a good point in terms of the TV deals are not where they once were. And so if there's a lockout, these TV partners is going to come for their bread, because, it's multi-billions of dollars in these TV deals now. It's not like it used to be. So they're going to be like, yo, y'all need to get this figured out, or you need to start giving money back. So there's that part. But I'm wondering, what do y'all think about the way these contracts are structured and how this works? Because clearly it's in the favor of the owners, right? The revenue split, I think, is 52% owners, 48% players in the NFL, where I think is 51-49 in the NBA. And I guess with all the money that's coming in, that 1% is a huge difference. But the point is, where do you guys see it? Because I see two things, right? If I'm an owner of a physical game, no matter how much they try to take out the physicality, the NFL is still going to be physical. We see injuries at a much higher rate, right? Because of the freaking physical, the collisions, the bodies and all that. So you got that. And then you also have to think about, you got to pay 53 guys, not 15 guys like you do in basketball. I don't know how many guys are on a baseball roster, but what are you guys' thoughts on this, the way the NFL contracts are? And do you think that it can ever get to a point where the players get those fully guaranteed deals in football?
I don't think it's going to happen. Game too volatile. And like you said, it'll be harder to get everyone to do the same thing at one time. I think when you look at things, people still got bills. A lot of people aren't making those big contracts that your star players are making. And so a lot of times they are making ends meet or living outside their means. And so to shut that down, it's not going to happen. They were like, well, I'm not getting guaranteed money. Well, my money is probably guaranteed, right? If I'm getting league minimum, it probably is guaranteed. But I guess I don't foresee it happening. I don't know what they could possibly do to reset their contracts. It would have to be one of those things where like everybody from this point going forward will get guaranteed contracts or something like that if they made it. But to reset and negotiate everyone's contract to get guaranteed money just doesn't seem like it's doable.
Fair enough. I was about to type it in, but you finished talking. Woody says average NFL career is like 3.5 years, so contracts will never be guaranteed. But average NBA career is about the same. It's not much longer. It's less than 4 years as well. So, and they got guaranteed contracts. So just a thought. Obviously, the game's not nearly as physical to that point, and you don't have to pay 53 men. You only have to pay 15. So there's a difference there. But regardless, just responding to that. Transformer, man, where are you on it?
No, G took one of my points here. For a lockout to happen, everyone got to be on the same court. More than half of the team, we're talking about 53 players on 32 teams. 53 players, divide that by 2, half of them ain't even making nearly enough to survive that year. That's a lot of players. So
which is crazy.
That'll be crazy. So for the leadership of every team would have to make some type of sacrifice to put money in those guys' pockets. Like, yo, we're going to do this lockout thing, but we're going to need the entire NFL behind us. Now you're going to have the top 10% of every team like, hey, pay off. Like, can we pay these young guys to get through this year, and let's try to make this happen. Other than that, it's not going to work because half of your team is broke for a year. They ain't going to do that. Nobody's going to be broke for a year. Like, hey, man, like, I'm just trying to make it, bro. I just came off the practice squad. I just got this $300,000 contract. Like, right. Who's going to pay me if I sit out? Right? Joe Burrow, you make $55 million. Hey, you might have to slide this man about $300K to set this, keep this man at ease. So I think that's going to be extremely tough.
And Shaq both help out guys when I'm just using those because they came to the top of the head. When the NBA had lockouts, they helped those guys with money, right?
Yes, they did, but that's 15 guys.
Their responsibility, but they did, for the betterment of. I'm just saying it to say, like, guys can help guys out. Again, it's not their responsibility because Richard Sherman's been talking for years about, telling guys to try and, save some money, get your war chest together so that we can really, if we need to, that we can force a work stoppage to get what we truly want.
Yep. That's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. Social media. Everybody want to be flashy. Everybody want, like, get in the NFL, go buy 3-4 cars, buy a house and stuff like that. Like, come on, man. Like you would have to reset that change if I'm Richard Sherman before they get into the league. You're having that conversation with the collegiate players. Yo, look, y'all about to step into something that's about to be a war zone. So we're gonna need you to save up that NIL money. Some of you are getting paid NIL money. Save some of that in your piggy bank. Save some of your signing bonus when you get drafted. By your second year, you're probably not going to play because we're going to shut this thing down. For those players who are, 7-6 round picks, undrafted, those minimal contracts, the top dogs of your team will take care of you and make sure that you be compensated for sitting out to the side. But this is for the betterment of all of us in the future getting paid more. So your bag is coming, but just for this year, here's your money. Boom. Take care. Be safe. I'm gonna need you to be your P's and Q's because this is a war. So, like, you need 53 players times 32 for them to all get on board. And mind you, you still got to think about practice team. They get paid. So now you got to pay the practice guys.
Well, I think the practice team ends up, if they decide to do it, they end up being scabs and playing the games. If there's because remember, we saw that back in the 80s. Well, you wouldn't remember. I wouldn't either, but I know about it. But that actually happened back in the 80s. And unfortunately, you had some big name players like Joe Montana actually cross the picket line, which is crazy.
Wow.
So to Young Disciples' point, man, guys aren't that selfless, But I mean, it's just, I think to your point, Transformer, when you talk about guys, I think it was guys living above their means. It's wild because let's just say you got $350,000 a year deal, right? Which is peanuts in the NBA when you compare it to the big name guys, right? But that's more than the vast majority of Americans make. Like $350,000 a year is good money. So why is it that you know what I'm saying? Why would you be hurting making that kind of dough? You know what I'm saying? And I get you. It's for that very reason that G said, guys living above their means. So,
I mean, 300,000, depending on what team you play for, taxes. So that's cut.
True. Yeah.
You cut that out. So at that point, you're probably around the 200s, So, yeah, when you think about things like that, it definitely depends on where you're staying at. So now you got taxes. Now, how much does it cost to afford a home when you're at? Or afford the rent. So you're looking at that. You got to have for rent. You got to have times 3. So if you stay in Cali, a $3,000 bedroom, 2-bedroom apartment, you need $9,000 up front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, man, it's a lot. But like I said, the top brass would have to, take care of those guys. Like, hey, man, if you guys need somewhere to stay for a year or something like that, like whatever it takes, if you guys truly want it, you guys are going into these locker rooms, or not even a locker room, because you're not even having this conversation on the facility grounds. Y'all are meeting up, congregating somewhere else off the site. Like, yo, look, this is what's about to happen. You're low key talking to the college guys. Like, yo, this is going to be the move. You're about to come out into this draft, so I want you to be prepared that your second year, maybe, or maybe next year, we're holding out. So this may be a time you might want to stay with Duke.
You know what though? That's a very good. I hadn't thought about that angle of it, Transformer. That's a great point in terms of guys literally getting paid in college now. So if you got an opportunity to come out and play on the next level, put some of that dough to the side. That's a great point.
Or stay and get another year of that NIL money, because this doesn't affect y'all.
That's right. And I'll say real quick before we open up the phone lines, one of the other things that I always talk about, and I guess you can't really mandate it, but if I'm these schools, okay, you guys are getting NIL now. Cool. And it's going to be pay for play within the next year or two directly from the school, right? Cool. They should mandate that all these guys have financial literacy classes. They should make them all take it. Every school has classes that they make people take. Why can't you make them take that?
Sherman's been saying that for years.
It should be mandated. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
he's been saying that for years.
Yeah. That way you're not shocked. Because I know.
In fact, you know what? I was watching.
You got to do with that age, man. I'll probably blow it all.
You know what's so funny? I was watching Nightcap with O'Shea and Ocho Cinco. It's a coach in college. I can't remember what coach he named, but it's a coach that's actually out there, and he's literally forcing the team to take financial literacy classes and things like that.
That's
and you
awesome.
have to be passing in that class.
That's awesome.
To get on the field.
That's good.
He's making it mandatory. These guys learn. Yeah. He's like, I'm not going to let you guys go into this big NFL and you guys not know what it's like to hold money. You guys getting paid NIL money? Cool. You're getting in financial literacy classes now, because I want to see you guys handle your money now before you get into that open world.
That's a great point.
I think if it has to start early. It can't really start at high school, because you're not really paying them. You're like, okay, now you're surviving off your parents, unless you're doing some under the table thing. Like, all right, I got you. We'll take care of you, take care of your family. But when you get to the collegiate side, that's when you got to start implementing this. Like, as they're freshmen, like, hey, financial literacy 101. You got a whole scholarship here.
Right away. Then you need to know how to deal with that money right away.
You need to know how to deal with that money right away. Getting you a proper agent, making sure your tax accountant, your CPA, all that. Like, hey, you're only taking 25% of your check home.
Yeah.
Other than that other 75?
Yeah. I think I heard that a lot of dudes don't even know that they got to pay taxes on that NIL though.
Yeah. Everything's taxed in the world of Uncle Sam.
Yeah, I don't. What? Yeah.
Uncle Sam on his cut.
He's gonna get his cut. That's a fact. He's gonna get his cut. Gee, before we move on, man, what do you think about that in terms of mandating that these guys getting NIL money? I know we kind of moved off to T. Higgins a little bit, but we got into the broader world, and I think it's important. Wow. What do you think about that in terms of mandating that these guys getting money, or girls, whoever's getting money, has to take financial literacy training?
I don't think that'll ever happen. I mean, I think that the onus is on you, because you got the money. This America, and you can't make people do stuff they don't want to do.
But why not though?
I'm not saying it's not for the greater good. What I'm saying is, based off of how this country is set up, this is a consumer push here, right? I want you to pay your money. I want you to get this money, and I want you to go spend it in the nearest mall on things that you don't need and don't even want.
Dealership.
Right. And so I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to put that in the forefront. That's up to you and your parents to make that decision for you. But if I'm definitely going to have the class available though. You know what I mean? Like, it's definitely going to be available, but I just don't think that there will be a push unless it's a coach driven type thing where it's like, all right, your coaches thing to your parents and that school system. Man, everybody else wants you to sign up for bullshit classes, do all kinds of stuff to spend that money, and you're gonna have people coming to you with all kinds of sob stories.
Facts.
Get that bread. Like, the only people that will be able to mandate that is the coach or the parent.
No, you're right, G. When you say that, the only reason I was saying like, why can't they? For instance, so I graduated from University of North Florida, right? Shout out Ospreys. And when I got there, I already had an associate's degree from another school. But no matter what, when you go to that school, you always have to take this freaking college writing course. I'm like, seriously, I got an associate's already, which means that's knocked out. Why do I have to? But they mandate that anybody going to that school takes that writing course. You know, I aced it, whatever. But the point is, if they can mandate that, why they can't mandate financial literacy? And to your point, G, because they don't want to. So, yeah,
no, that's what like I said, as coaches, as a staff, you guys got to push that for your players, man. I mean,
my bad, y'all. Say it again. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I think you should have that financial literacy class before you get to college. That's something that should be put in and for everyone in high school, but you have to pay for those types of curriculums. Like that course curriculum, you got to pay for that. That you're not gonna get that from public schools. You might not get it from private schools. It's one of those things that you definitely have to pay for.
Let's say you might not get that from public schools in the areas where a lot of these players come from. Let's say that.
I don't think it's in the public schools at all, bro. Like,
no, not financial literacy. No.
You not financial literacy, but like you could take like accounting and economics in public school, in high school. So if you take that, then you'll be learning about how to deal with the money.
That's a reach.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean,
you take
with that,
they'll teach you how to do your taxes, bro.
Yeah, it's not teaching you to
manage a.
No, but accounting and economics will get you a lot closer in terms of how to deal with money now, and also it will open up a person's mind to say they will likely, if they're taking that class, they'll probably start reading more about other things. No, is it going to make them a CPA? No, but they'll be a lot more knowledgeable about how to handle and deal with money.
I need the title of the class. Do you want to go broke? Take this course.
Right.
A lot of folks don't take that. Like, I don't want to go broke.
Yeah, I don't want to go broke.
I'm gonna learn everything about it.
That's
don't want to go broke? Take this course.
Yeah.
Because I mean, look at the NFL. These guys, it's veterans that are still to this day, no matter how high the cap goes, how big the contracts get, how long term the money gets, how more guaranteed money you get, still players are finding ways to be broke post retirement.
Yeah, it's tough. You're seeing it less and less now, also because there's more external revenue streams for guys. But no, you're 100% right.
Yeah. That's
no doubt.
Doing these podcasts and all these.
I was about to say that's why everybody got a podcast, because you do the podcast and it's entertaining. Somebody's going to pick you up and give you some dough for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Travis the Kelsey brothers.
Oof. Right.
Easy day.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to retire. Like, I can retire now. I'm straight.
Yeah, for real. All right, well, let's go ahead and open up these phone lines. Let's take a couple calls on it. I know we started out, y'all, talking about the T. Higgins deal. So first, if you want, you can call in. You can give her your thoughts on whether or not the T. Higgins deal was a bad deal, but also your thoughts on our greater discussion of the NFL and the way they pay and the way they work these contracts, and if you think that they should be given, if players should be able to get fully guaranteed contracts, as well as your thoughts on financial literacy. So definitely would love to hear y'all's thoughts on that. 904-219-8264, 904-219-8264. Give us a shout. That was a good discussion, y'all. I didn't think that it was gonna go there, but that was good, man. You preaching. Oh man. Yeah, that was good.
No, man. I mean, like I said, to our point, man, it has to start early. You gotta get these guys on that mindset a whole lot early. I look back. I mean, you can go look back at your high school career and stuff like that. We always say, like, "Damn, if only I knew then what I knew now, you would play everything differently." In your early 20s, your late 20s, as you get into your 30s. And when you get into your 30s, you're like, God dang it. I didn't know nothing about that. I'm just out here buying whatever. They get next check, I'll recoup. Next check, I'll recoup. But a lot of people don't understand that 15-20% rule. You know what I mean? Like, there's like for every check you get, keep that 10, 15, 20%. Just tuck it away. Just don't even bat an eye. Find a way to survive off that 80 85% and let that stuff accumulate over time. Put it in interest-bearing savings accounts and stuff like that, or investment accounts. If you teach that to these players, these young players, high school, collegiately, with the money that they're getting millions of dollars now.
Yeah, they're going to kill real fast.
They're going to kill real fast in these markets if you teach those kids like, hey, it don't got to be only on the football field where you get paid. You can get it here. You can get it here. You can get it here.
Yeah.
Life insurance policy, whatever. But there's so many avenues of income that you guys can get. Even making it at 300K, to 300K. Those players can make big bank, so yeah.
Right. All right, we'll just wait one more minute here and see if we got anybody wants to call in and discuss this topic. I'm surprised we're not getting any feedback on this one. This was a good discussion.
This contract is trash, man.
Oh yeah, for him, horrible. Yeah. The Bengals in there dancing.
Got him.
We got him.
Oh my goodness!
He want another year. He get another year. That's it. Then he out of here.
Oh man!
Oh, you're right.
Get him out of here.
Oh man.
Nobody's calling. Nobody wants to talk about this.
No, guess not.
I think they queued up for the next one.
I think so. Hey man, this was a good topic though, man.
I love it. I mean, we got the game. It's just that nobody want to call in because they probably aren't financial literate.
Hey man, T better.
I'm messing with y'all, man. I love y'all.
T better say, pay me in Bitcoin.
That could be something they do. Start paying these guys in stocks.
I thought I had that would be good. Because think about it, that's how, real quick before we move on, that's how Steve Ballmer got so rich. When he was had a Microsoft, he was getting a ton of money in stocks, getting a ton. So my man got like many billions.
Many billions.
Many
bought
billions.
That stadium and ain't been winning in it since.
It's a beautiful stadium, though, from what I've seen.
Beautiful stadium, though. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Two things can be true. Beautiful stadium, but you ain't winning in it.
Where are the Clippers right now? What
are the Clippers?
Where are they in the West right now?
I think they 6. I think they're 6. No, I think that's the Warriors. The Warriors are 6. They're probably like 7th or 8th.
Warriors are 6. Yeah, so the Clippers are still kind of. Yeah, Tim Jones, you're absolutely right. Yeah. My bad. That's one of those things. I know you heard about that transformer early in his career.
Oh,
yeah. Magic was like, Nike was like, we can't pay you what Converse going to pay you, but
give me the bread. I need the money.
Well, I mean, look at it though, and I understand he regrets it now, but you coming from a situation, you growing up with 10 brothers and sisters, you seen your pops work 2 jobs all his life, you seen your mom's working, so you're like, yo, I need the cash. Like, I don't know if this company is gonna make it. I need the cash.
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard. It's hard, man.
That's for sure.
Laker Nation, we about to do it, man. That's funny. But it's real. With my man, not Trevor Lawrence, Trevor, the South African comedian dude. He always says, "You laugh, but it's true." Trevor Noah, yeah, you laugh, but it's true. That's why I was laughing. It's true. All right, y'all, let's do it. We're gonna go to the topic that I suppose people are interested in hearing about. So
are we?
What you said, G?
2 hours later.
Nah, we're not doing that, man.
30-minute timer starts at 1:15. By 1:45, we wrapping this up. 1:45, we wrapping this up.
All right, y'all. So here's the deal. What is it? Last Thursday night, LeBron Ramon James Jr., aka Bronny, had a career night in the NBA. And he had 17 points. Let me see. I'm looking at it right now. Bronny had 17 points. Was this
5 assists, 3 rebounds,
3 rebounds, Yeah, 7 of 10 shooting, 2 of 4 from 3. And apparently that was the greatest game in the history of creation of basketball. So,
Oh,
you know,
AI.
God.
That was AI. That was AI.
That's AI.
right.
My bad.
Now,
Somebody wants to go ahead. My bad.
why I named this episode what I did. Incredible performance. I did that on purpose. I don't think it was an incredible performance.
It just says career night. Oh, you're talking about on the thumbnail. Probably.
No, the title. Bronny dropped 17 points in incredible performance, all caps. But no, Bronny, he showed some stuff, man. He showed some stuff. And good for the young man. We see him getting into the lane. We see him knocking down jump shots. We see him making some really crisp passes, some finishing well, just a good overall game. So want to give a young fella credit for what he did. He showed some stuff, right? Why is this a big deal? This is a big deal for 2 reasons. One, obviously, we know what his name is, right? Well, maybe 3 reasons. We know what his name is. 2, we know what uniform he plays in. That's always a big deal. And 3, this whole, Stephen A. Smith, LeBron James thing as of late, right? So it's funny because I myself was one of those people that said from the beginning, I never said that he couldn't play. Yeah, it was a really good take. I never said he couldn't play or that he wouldn't be an NBA player at some point, right? I believe I said at his ceiling, like Drew Holiday is what you might want to shoot for, right? In terms of, what he could be, right? At his absolute ceiling. But also, like many others said, hey, give the kid time to develop. My biggest complaint was more so about how it came about, right? And we know at the end of the day, yes, he's here. It's done. You got to let that go. But I think what for me, what is the biggest issue is that we get so many people conflating when people complain about how it came about. They say you're hating on Bronny, or, it's if you said what you saw at that time, you were hating on Bronny, which is just absurd, right? But, that's the world we live in, right? If you don't worship somebody, you're hating on them. And that's what I talk about all the time, right? Y'all know me. Y'all been around this show long enough. So what we say is Rod Dub says he played with confidence for a change. Yeah, and you could see it. And he played well. 30 minutes to 17 points. Now, all that aside, he did all that. That's fantastic. You seeing all these people, what's Stephen A. got to say now, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right. So this is what we'll do, because I'm a two things can be true guy, and I am a both sides of the coin guy. You all know that. But before we even do that, before we start getting into some sound on this, G, you first and then Transformer, your thoughts on Bronny's incredible performance that was the greatest in the history of basketball. What you got?
Bronny, so I look at the kid and I see him as a developmental player that's in the league. I look at, he's been playing with other NBA talents probably almost his whole career. You look at his dad. Normally what happens is you go to parks and you run, y'all all playing together. So I'm sure he played with Wades, he played with the Anthony's, right? Like
I'm sure his dad took him to Drew League and all.
They put him in this position for a reason. I think his margin for success is higher because he's not playing football, right? Which one is harder? Is it harder to score a basket in the NBA, or is it harder to run 1 yard in the NFL, right? And so when I look at stuff like that, I'm like, oh yeah, it's definitely harder to run 1 yard in the NFL than it is to score in this modern NBA. So I think he's gonna be good on that note. The only other point that I had was man, cheers to him. The game is starting to slow down for him. You see, you look in his eyes is like a dead headlights. That means focus locked in, and he did what he needed to do. Like I think this kid gonna be good for the Stephen A. shit. Like him and Stephen A. is almost in the same boat. You think Stephen A. could have fucked with him in his prime? Probably not. And he hooped too.
No.
So that's the thing. That's the thing. You know what I'm saying?
That's like 0.9 points a game or something like that.
Yeah,
that's a whole
That's the whole thing. But at the same time, like Stephen A. say he played basketball. So maybe not on that level, but you can't talk shit about somebody you can't beat.
So I'll just respond to that real quick. See, this is where we keep getting into that nuance. Stephen A. never talked crap about Bronny. He never did. But that's
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. You talking You not crap, but you speaking on the person and you played.
That's literally his job. That's what he literally gets paid to do.
No. You missing the point. You missing the point. You missing my point. I'm taking it back. So the only thing I'm saying, because I don't want to drive this into some 2-hour show about
right.
You know what I mean? We both hyperventilate and talk. No, we ain't gotta do all that. The only thing I'm saying is when Bronny played ball, right? He played ball. Stephen A played ball, right? Mm-hmm. Those two names has been in the media for like all week about him.
Yeah, man.
Talking about, don't talk about my son, yada yada yada. Whatever. But he did say something about him when he went on the podcast. He did. He said, "You did this, LeBron. You knew he wasn't ready. You did this." So for me, you talking to LeBron, but you speaking on Bronny, and you probably shouldn't speak on Bronny if you're not better than him. You know what I'm saying?
That's crazy. I'm nowhere near.
One way, dog. You saying it from your point of view.
I'm nowhere near Bronny, but why I can't? Say again.
I'm saying it from somebody's who hoop.
Right.
Stephen A. hoop too.
Okay.
Right.
But he has a job to do. Is he not supposed to do his job?
Talking about that part of it, man. Like you just locking on the broadcast aspect of it. I'm talking about from one man to another man on some dual shit. Like that's what I'm talking about. I know this is a show we supposed to be talking, but I'm just saying, like you honing in on one small point, and the bigger point is like I think in his prime and Stephen A. prime, he wouldn't have been able to be as successful. And I know when he was playing, his dreams and admiration was probably to make it to the NBA, just like everybody else. Everybody had that dream. Right. And so we don't know where all this stemmed from, but the nepotism was real. I just like to see Bronny be in a situation where he's still developing, and the game is starting to slow down for him. It wasn't an incredible game. It wasn't one of his greatest games we're gonna see. It was just a game where Shorty just like he trusts himself and his confidence, and I like to see that in young men. I like to see that in young players, right? Just from the aspect of just a coach, right? Just from an aspect of a coach, a former player, a coach, and a father. Like I like to see stuff like this. I like to see the little young dude win. It ain't his fault. Like you can see in his face, he's like, "Damn, Dad, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Let me play, Dad." Like you know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna get going. Just give me time. And so, like I said, I don't really have too many points on this. I just think I think the kid future is going to probably be it's going to be a win regardless, whether he fall on his back and lose, or if he be highly successful, it's still going to be a win for the kid.
Yes, and he eventually will be a pretty solid NBA player. Nobody was disputing any of that. But Transformer, let's go on, man. What you got? And then we'll start checking out some sound and getting back to it.
Congrats, Bronny.
Yeah.
Shout out Bronny.
Yeah, I believe I said that, but go ahead.
This is me talking. I'm not talking about what you said.
All right, go ahead, man.
Talk about what you said. All right. Let me talk.
I just want to remind people that I said that too. That was the first thing I said, but go ahead.
We got 30 minutes to see that Bronny can do something in this league.
Okay.
My question. What has Bronny said? Did Bronny say anything?
After this game?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I'm sure he said something. Did he say something about just... No, that was another interview. I don't know what he said after this game. They had...
He didn't say anything worth noting. He said something about how the team played. We played this way, we played that way. That's all he said. Did he say anything before the game?
I would imagine not.
He didn't. Bronny is out there playing basketball, learning to develop. Everybody else got something else to say. But the horse that's doing the freaking riding round ain't say a thing. So I'm to this point. Y'all talking and it's just noise. We talking and it's just noise. We're only showing this because one, everybody showed so much bad when he first got into the league up until now. Then he starts cooking in the G League. They're like, okay, let's throw him an NBA game. We talk about how they rest him into an NBA game. We look at the back of his jersey so much that we don't give him the fair criticism on where he was taken. We're not doing that. We're so busy looking at his name and listening to his dad His daddy is doing the talking. So talk about him. Talk about his daddy. If you want something to talk about his daddy.
But that's not how it works, and you know that.
That should be how it works for him because he's not saying anything.
I agree, but that's not
we are grown men and grown women. We need to learn to understand. Talk about the person that's doing the fucking talking. I don't care what anybody else says. Bruce, you can say I'm the ugliest mofo in the world, but if I walk around here and I'm like, I'm the handsomest son that you ever seen,
right.
I don't care what you got to say.
All that is great, but we cannot care about a lot of different things, but we also know how the world works. And the world works in a way, in many cases, that we don't, in ways that we don't agree with. Am I right? It's unfortunate, but in many cases, it works in ways which we don't agree with.
And again, if it's wrong, we keep it that way, is basically what you're saying.
In some situations, yes, and it's unfortunate.
Exactly. So if it's wrong, we're going to keep it that way. Bronny hasn't said a thing.
Mm-hmm.
He's out there developing.
He is.
As he ranks at a 55th pick, somebody pulled this up because we had this conversation before. As a 55th pick, he gets ranked in minutes at the 55th spot. Points, he's tied for 50th. Assists, he's at 49th. Steals, tied for 51st. Blocks, tied for 41st. Sounds like a 55th pick.
Transformer.
Let that man
that is gravy.
And learn.
Transformer, all that is gravy, but guess what?
Is, and that should be it.
But it's not Transformer, but it's not.
Why is it? Because you guys are not making it that way.
Because that's not how media works, bro. Real talk. That's not how media works. And
that is how it works. Because any other 55th pick, we ain't talking about.
But he's not
LeBron. We're talking about Bronny. Y'all talking about LeBron. Y'all are never talking about Bronny.
Bro, this
conversation should be Bronny's career night, not what the fuck we think about what LeBron had to say.
You know better than that, and guess what? Because his dad put that bullseye on him, he's getting shot at.
Talk about his dad.
That's what it is.
About him. We're not talking about Bronny.
Anybody can get it.
That's cool.
Anybody can get it. That's what Bruce is saying. Anybody can get it.
I'm taking care of it.
We're talking like if we want to have a conversation about Bronny hasn't said a thing. He hasn't done a thing. He's went out there, played ball. He's learned to develop. He's doing his job at where he was drafted. You guys want to talk about, change the topic to what Bron thinks about Bronny's career night. Change the topic because that's not the topic of conversation.
First of all, I have, and you've been with me since the beginning of this whole thing, since before he got drafted. I said what I said when he got drafted about how I felt about that situation. I said what I said about what I thought was going to happen to him in the G League, right? And when I was wrong about that, what did I do? What did I do, Transformer, when I was wrong about what I thought was going to happen to him in the G League? I came right here in front of this microphone and this camera, and I said I was wrong, right? No problem doing that. Cool. I still said my biggest issue has always been whether or not he could be a quality player. Just in this segment right here today, I said that his ceiling could be a Drew Holiday type player. Did I say that?
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, All-Star. Drew Holiday played for Team USA. I said that at his absolute ceiling, he can get there. I've never had a problem with Bronny. Never. I never had a problem with Bronny as a player. Never. When I was incorrect in my evaluation of Bronny as a player, I said that. No problem, right? So the problem is this. People who love LeBron want to say, you taking shots at Bronny because you can't. What? Because you want to go at his father. You transfer and hate. What? Because you're saying what you see.
Yeah, it is. It's a little bit of both.
Also, we cannot. No, it's not both.
Yes, it is. Because you say the same thing about when brown people say something.
Hold on. No.
Both.
It's disingenuous to act as if we can separate Bronny from his dad. We can't. Yeah. We just can't.
15 minutes.
You can't separate that because he's the one who made this way, right? There's all these other players whose fathers were great NBA players. We don't have to deal with this, do we? Do we? Right? We don't, because all their fathers kept their mouths shut. Plain and simple. That's it. Kareem Duncombe says, why Transformer can't understand mainstream media is blasting him all day, every day, but everyone else is wrong for talking about him too. We watched Dalton Connect. I haven't heard anyone mention Dalton Connect getting 17.
Y'all don't try to.
I haven't heard anyone say that. But guess what? The mainstream media. I was listening when you saw the B-roll I showed with the Bronny clips earlier, right? When I was cutting it, I took the sound off because everything he did, the damn analysts and the color commentators were screaming about how fantastic it was, as if we've never seen a layup or a three before. Right? You know what I'm talking about? Yes. Right? So don't act like it's just me. That's absurd. Don't act like it's just me. But we're gonna hear some commentary on this. Let's do this. My bad. Let me.
Not you storming out the room though. Yo,
because he said the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's cool. You can feel
that's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. Okay. A man can't control his own actions. That's crazy work.
Wait, who said a man can't control his own actions?
That's basically what you said.
What? How did I say that? I've always talked about accountability, the thing that your guy doesn't have. I've always talked about that.
Who the hell's my guy?
Yeah, LeBron, your guy.
He's not my guy. That man play for the Lakers. I don't play him. I represent my Laker team and anybody that's on, and I stand on that.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's do this. We got commentary on this from Stephen A. and we got commentary from the Odd Couple. And I definitely wanted to play the Stephen A. commentary because I had thoughts on that. So let's check it out.
Now let me get to Bronny James, because y'all know this was a subject I was going to have to tackle in light of all the news I've been involved in him over the last couple of weeks. But did y'all see what he did last night for the Lakers? Bronny scored a career high 17 points in the Lakers 118-89 loss to the Milwaukee Bucks. To be fair, the Lakers were shorthanded with LeBron, Luka, and Austin Reeves out of the lineup, not to mention Rui Hachimura. But Bronny stepped up, putting up those 17 points of 7 to 10 shooting from the field, including 2 of 4 from deep. Ladies and gentlemen, same energy. This young brother right here, I might have been wrong. I thought that he should have been in the G League for the year. I still say he had potential, but I thought he might have been in the G League for the year. But if the brother gonna look this way, I got to give love where it's due and say that Bronny James showed some promise.
So real quick, let me say this. What I didn't like in his commentary, both on First Take and what you just heard, why, Stephen A., are you backpedaling now? You've been fighting for your stance being fair this whole time through this thing with LeBron. Now it's, I might have been wrong. Because now you're trying to play the politician role and get some sympathy behind you. No, you weren't wrong at the time in what you saw. And that's what you should be saying.
Okay, so you said what I saw thing. So are you playing the politics?
No, because guess what I said? I said I was, okay, let me do it this way, right? I said, I thought,
understand that.
Yeah, I was clearly wrong. Because I said, what did I say about what was going to happen to him in the G League? That all them hungry dudes down there was going to eat his food, right? And clearly that's not happening. So I can stand up and say, yeah, I was wrong. Stephen A. was saying, now he's saying I might have been wrong, but really he wasn't wrong in what he was saying at the time. I was completely wrong in what I said. At the time, Stephen A. was referring to what he saw, right? What he saw Bronny doing on the court. That's why he said what he said. I said before the league started that I said when he goes to the G League, all them hungry dudes are going to eat his food and make a name off of him, right? Remember I said that? Yeah. I said that they're going to take advantage of the cameras being down there looking at Bronny. So this is before he even played in the G League. So I was 100% wrong in what I said with no evidence to back it up, just based on my assumption. That's why I had no problem getting on the show and saying, damn, I was wrong when he started killing in the G League. You see the difference? Now, what Stephen A. is saying, oh, I might have been wrong, when before all he was doing is reporting on what he actually saw Bronny doing on the floor. Go ahead.
So you never heard when people say, after further evaluation, after I receive more information, more insight, I now change my opinion. That happens all the time. Everyone does.
Yeah, but yes, but that's
political. That's
not
after research and like, okay, after updating information.
That's not the same thing that you're saying, though. That's not the same thing that happened. What he's doing is saying I was wrong because you're not listening to me. What he did before, he made his statements based before on what he saw at that time. So you weren't wrong for that, because what you were saying based on what you saw at that time was correct, right? You used me as an example.
Yeah, and he said shut it down.
Made an assumption.
He was wrong. Yeah, he was wrong. He said shut it down.
Shut what down? No, he was talking about how Bronny wasn't ready, right? Based on what he saw.
So he is wrong. He's not ready, but then we're talking about this.
So what he's saying now is, so listen, this is what he should say, right? Okay, language person, communication. This is what you should say. This is what I would have said. Correction, if I'm Stephen A. at this time, based on what I saw at that time, I still stand by that. What I said at that time. Now seeing what I'm seeing now, shout outs to the young brother. He's doing his thing. He can move forward. Based on what I saw at that time, I stand on that. Because
some men aren't you? They just admit like I was wrong about something.
Then say again.
I mean, all he said was, "Man, I was wrong about something." Because for him to not say he's not wrong, he would have had to been performing bad all year, and he'd be like, "Okay, Stephen A, you was right." Then next year he could be like, "Okay, growth." This is the same season we're talking about.
You're not listening to what I'm saying. Real quick,
no, because everybody don't need to be you and your way of thinking because you went to journalism school.
I would have said a young disciple. Yeah, well, say that again.
Everybody don't need to think like you because you went to freaking journalism school, bro. Like, be realistic.
He doesn't, but guess what? He did. He knows how this works. He
still don't have to think like you.
No, he doesn't have to think like me. But what I'm saying is, we can see that he faced such a negative backlash on this whole thing that what he's doing is he's trying to crawl backwards and gain a little bit of that positive following back.
But that's all what he said was that Bron had a good
because everything he does is for likes and views, and so this is a different angle. It could be likes and views, but he talks so much that he danced all around all the time. He gonna say, "Oh yeah, he doing well" when he doing well, and then he gonna be like, "Oh, he doing shitty next week on the next episode." So it's like I wouldn't hold on to it too much or hold on value to say because
updated information.
Yeah, he just goes with the wave.
That's disingenuous though, right? It's not just okay. I got information, so I'm adjusting fire. Nah, we see what he do.
It's common. It's common with him.
Yeah, that's a fact. Right, but let's go ahead and continue it.
Looked composed out there, completely unfazed. Had some nice ball handling skills. Pulled up jump shot. Hit a three-pointer, got to the basket, hit a floater, the whole nine. Let me tell y'all something. Nice pass there, too. Bronny James in the G League, coming up, practicing with the Lakers, being around his dad, who's a basketball savant. I'm not going to hate. I'm going to call it like I see it. LeBron is a basketball savant. He has forgotten more basketball than most people know. We ain't got to like each other or ever talk to each other in life for me to admit that. Got to give respect where it's due. But I want to use it as a reminder that the same dude that his daddy approached courtside is the same dude that said I thought that he had this potential. I just didn't think it would be this season. See, I was never of the mindset that Bronny James would never make the NBA. Go back and look at the clips. I said he got a chance. He just needs the right tutelage or whatever. Evidently, he's getting it. JJ Redick can teach. His coaching staff, Nate McMillan, Scott Brooks, and others can teach. Being in the G League, whatever staff the Lakers got out there in the G League, they can teach. And LeBron James certainly can teach. Bronny James, I watched him last night. Wasn't bad. Looked like he belonged. We're going to keep the same energy. When he plays well, we're going to give it to him. When he doesn't, we're not. You see how that works? That's what covering the league is. It's merit. What you see is what you see. Right. Bronny James looked good last night. Can't deny it. Got to give a brother love. Wish him nothing but the best. Ain't nobody rooting against him. Kid got potential.
So he said a lot of truth there. I don't agree with it 100%, but he said a lot of truth there. So that is what that is. You had any more thoughts on this before we go ahead and hear what Rob Parker had to say about this?
Yeah. So the question for y'all is do you think this type of attention to Bronny James is impacting the league in a positive manner or a negative manner?
It's right.
Because at the end of the day, they lost.
I don't think it's either. I think it's attention, period. And we ain't even get to that part yet, but go ahead, G.
So my views is it take away from other players. This type of attention takes away from other players who are like really getting down and putting up points and leading their team. And they don't get enough recognition because of the Bronny train that essentially always is, the topic of discussion anytime you talk about, basketball and NBA. So that's it. That's all I had, man. I just want to know if y'all thought that like this high, like putting him on the spotlight and he having 17 points, not 40, 17 points.
Right.
And we got like 7 different people speaking on this man game. Like
exactly.
It was a breakout game. I think his first 40 piece would be a breakout game. We should just let him develop until then.
Yeah. But
110% agree. But we as First of all, grown ass men.
Mm-hmm.
We can control the situation on what we're talking about. We can. We just choosing not to. That's as simple as it freaking gets. Because honestly, as a 55th pick and where he was drafted, the man is performing at the level that he should be. We're not allowing the kid to develop. We highlighting so much bad about him because I'm curious on why Bruce keeps highlighting every negative comment about Bronny.
How is this? Wait. How is this?
Let me talk. Let me talk.
Read what it says.
I didn't. Did I say highlighting the comments? Is plural, not just this one. So listen, journalists, listen to what I said. I said comments.
You said every.
Yes, plural.
You said highlighting every.
All these negative comments.
You said every negative comment, and I'm trying to figure out how this is a negative comment. I'm just trying to understand this.
Journalists, I need you to listen because obviously that's not your forte. You're good at writing, but you're not good at listening.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. All the comments that have been put up, not saying every comment, every is different. Every comment is everything that's in the comment section, correct?
You said every negative comment. That's what you said.
The negative comments, yes.
Okay.
So this could not be, I didn't call this one a negative. I'm just saying all the negative comments that are being posted in the chat.
So I'm trying to figure out what's negative here. What am I not understanding?
About one specific comment. I'm not talking about this comment.
Okay.
The previous comments that you've been recycling over and over and over. That's the reference.
I find it interesting because you made this reference as soon as I put this comment up, and there's nothing negative.
It was my turn to talk. I can go back to what I was talking about.
Okay, go ahead. Because this is actually my personal stance. But anyway, go ahead.
Damn. All right.
4 minutes.
Why all of the negative comments that every time we're talking about, because the topic of conversation is Bronny's career night. We're not giving the attention where it needs to go. The development and growth of the player. What did he say? What is he doing? How is he performing? Change the topic to what LeBron thinks. Is LeBron this? Put LeBron that. Because us as fair critiques, and this is what like me and G and Brucey and all I'm talking about, the highlighting of the future of the NBA. The next guy is up. Now we're operating back in reverse because Bronny is a part of the NBA's future. So we're highlighting so much negative for the kid. I care about what he says, what he's doing. Is he developing? Is he growing? Are the Lakers giving him more? If the Lakers giving him more chances than usual for 50th pick? Yeah. Are they in garbage time? Yeah. During this 30-minute performance, how many players did we have out? All 5 starters? Yeah. So he's gonna get some showing time. But is he performing at the level that he should be performing at? Yes. Can he grow? Possibly. Is he gonna have bad games? Yes. Do we know? Does anybody tell me what's the highest point scorer by the number 1 pick this year? Can anybody tell me?
34.
Was it Sar?
34.
You're not even sure who the hell the first pick is, G. You're not even sure if it's 34.
He had 34 against Jokic like a week ago.
34 against Jokic.
Yeah.
What was his worst performance? Do you know?
Oh, shoot. Probably 0. I don't know what his worst was. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Now give me the second pick. How much did the second pick score?
Sure, I don't know.
Exact. That's our problem.
That's okay.
That's our problem.
Right. Okay.
We're
so
making We're making Braun's comments our problem.
No, I'm gonna tell you, dog,
instead of critiquing the game as it should be.
Yo, he's not even supposed to be on here this long.
He shouldn't be, G. I agree.
Yeah,
he shouldn't be. We're letting Braun's problem be our problem instead of talking about the game of basketball and what we should be doing. Like, he's performing, yes.
The problem is
it was a 30-point blowout.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's very interesting that the question is we're talking about what he's doing, right? But so he had the 17, but I noticed that almost no one has mentioned, and I'm not talking about here, but in the mainstream media, right? No one has mentioned the minus 36. No one mentioned that. It's gravy. Yeah, okay, cool. What I'm saying is they were
it's going to be when you're guarding Giannis, but okay. It's going to be that. plus minus ain't on the player. It's about how many
Okay.
points were scored on you when you're in the lineup. Y'all do know that, right?
Okay. So what we'll do is,
Did y'all not know that? I'm asking a serious question because it seems like you didn't by your response.
no. I
You
knew
know what
that.
that plus minus
Also,
means.
yeah, plus minus is actually what happens. What's the disparity in scoring when you are on the floor?
Exactly.
That's
So
what
that's
plus minus is.
when you're on the floor.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. So that's not on an individual player. That's on the set of players that are playing.
Well, okay.
I don't even
So
think we
I
should
guess
be talking about the
if
Lakers.
that was the case,
Honestly,
say
in my
again.
eyes, I don't even think we should be talking about the Lakers at all because they're not doing it this year. Like they not doing it this year, bro.
Doing what?
Tell you nothing. They going home first round.
Bet some money.
Depends on who they
I
play.
bet a whole tray of crawfish that y'all be
Well,
cooking
listen,
up there.
let's go ahead. I want to.
We gonna
I
bet
want-
on that.
let's hear the odd couple commentary on this, and then we'll wrap this and take calls because I'm sure there's going to be some calls on this one.
Somebody had a big game, I think, last night. Rob G, care to explain?
That's right. Now, there's two sides to this coin, specifically on the odd couple. All right. If you are a guy like Kelvin Washington,
where everything is great,
you're going to say, man, Bronny James played a career high 30 minutes last night, scored a career high 17 points, 7 to 10 shooting. He had 5 assists, 3 rebounds, and a block as well. In the process, became the youngest Laker rookie since Magic Johnson to record 17 points and 5 assists while shooting at least 70% from the floor.
Okay, so we're talking about what he's doing, right? Why would anybody, this is what we talk about. Yes, he did that. Why would we compare him to Magic Johnson? Why? This is about what he's doing, not what his father thinks, right? This is why people get irritated with the Bronny thing. There is no world in which you're comparing Bronny and Magic Johnson. This isn't. Right? You're a Laker guy. I'm not a Laker guy. But y'all know I have some Magic Johnson. So the point is, this is why people get irritated because of the undue, unfair media coverage this guy gets. But as part of the media, you got to do it. And you can't separate the fact that he gets this coverage with how this coverage came about. But yeah, let's keep it simple. Why is he being compared with Magic Johnson? You tell me that.
You ready?
Yeah.
This lets you know that y'all don't pay attention to shit that these folks on the sidelines of the games be doing.
Okay.
This right here. You don't pay attention to shit
Talk to me.
that these guys would be doing. Right? Because first of all, do you know that there's guys that are literally on the sideline of games with their computers?
Yes.
Who literally, as the stats go by,
yes,
it's a whole algorithm that pops up and shows what they're doing and what last player did such and such. That's how we get first player since blah 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 with 12, 5, 5, and 5. That's how they get those numbers, right?
I know.
Did you know that in the last week alone, 2 other Laker players were compared to Magic Johnson? Did you know that?
No.
Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic.
Okay. So
they
Luka,
both drew a stat that the last person who did it was Magic Johnson. And they brought up, oh man, Austin Reeves is the first guy to do this since Magic Johnson. Oh, Luka Doncic is the first person to do this since Magic Johnson. Okay, Bronny, he's the first person to do this since Magic Johnson. They do this all the time, bro. How is this shocking? Because it's Bronny? That's why it's shocking for you?
Yes. So Luka, I'll give you. The guy's a 5-time straight first team All-NBA. I didn't hear the Austin Reeves one. I didn't. And again, I listened to a ton. I consume a ton of sports media. Did not hear the Austin Reeves one. Did hear the Bronny James one. And I think we know what that has to do with it. But okay, let's move on.
It's incredible performance.
There's a lot of factors there.
By the 55th pick in the NBA draft. But if you're Rob Parker, you can also point out that Bronny James only got in the game because the Lakers basically sat their entire top 7 in the rotation, that they ended up losing that game by 29 points to the Milwaukee Bucks, and that Bronny James in 30 minutes of action was not quite a team worst, but almost a team worst, minus 36 while he was on the floor for plus minus. Rob Parker, your thoughts on the Bronny James performance and the conversation that come out of last night?
I'm trying to really put my thoughts together because once again, people have overreacted. Who in the world trumpets a 17-point performance in a 29-point loss where the game was never really in doubt with all the injuries and whatnot? Seriously. I mean, really? That's the game. I remember when he was in Philadelphia and they gave him some extended minutes and he looked like a fish out of water. You remember that game? And where was LeBron James? Talking about leave the kid alone. Where was that tweet about the mean media? Oh, it was okay that all the talking heads on TV this morning were big up in Bronny now. I thought you wanted everybody to leave him alone so that the kid could develop and just play. Oh, today was good because it was positive. Oh, yeah, did you see my boy? Did you see the kid? You see what he was able to do? I told you he could play. There's a difference. All of Bronny's points, all of his stats, garbage time. That wasn't a real game. That was not a real game. If he did that in Philadelphia earlier this year when they put him in extended minutes, you'd get my attention. I don't value this at all. I don't. There's a difference between games, meaningful. That's why there's stat called garbage minutes. Why do we come up with that? Kelvin, any points are good. You play basketball, right? No. We know there's garbage time. In baseball, we call it the mop-up, right? When the game's out of hand and you put people in. Oh, yeah, he had mop-up duty. He pitched 4 innings of mop-up. That means there was a mess there. There was nothing there. There was no game. I'm sorry. People going crazy and wigging out over Bronny. I didn't see any value in it other than the kid got to play because there was nobody else to play and the game was never in doubt and he played. That's it. That's all I took from it.
Rob don't know what garbage time mean, by the way.
I think, of course, he knows what garbage time means. The dude's covered professional sports for like 30 years plus, 35 years.
Then what the hell is he talking about?
I think he's referring to just in general, the game was a terrible blowout. So he's saying pretty much the whole time was garbage. So he's not saying like specifically, okay, 5 minutes in a blowout at the end of a blowout. That's what I'm saying.
Because they were down 8 1/3. So I'm trying to figure out like at what part was it garbage time?
Hold on. Oh, I guess it'll be good this year. Yeah, great point. No, all right, go ahead, though. Go ahead. I'm sure you all know where I am with Rob Parker's comments, but
you all up his rear end. But we're gonna move on. G, what you got?
Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Because Rob said a whole bunch of nothing. That's exactly what he said.
Okay,
a whole bunch of nothing.
You know what I get from
he called it garbage time.
You know,
the game was in balance in the third quarter, so the whole game was garbage time.
So you know what I get from your response there? The exact same thing he says. When it's positive, everybody's gravy. When it's not, you're hating, you got problems, this, that, and the third. So as long as we give just straight positive, I got it. From now on, I will say nothing but positive things about Bronny, and everybody's gonna be happy with me. I got it.
That's not the point. Y'all are bashing when it's bad, and then you're bashing when it's good. You're doing both. You're not doing the likeness of the other. You're always giving the bad. When he does good, we find a way to make it bad. We're flipping it. But when it's bad, it's super bad. Like, he didn't belong here. Because the whole conversation changed. If you go back and you look at all the tape from when he got drafted to the first game of the season to the G League, tone is completely different now. The tone is completely different. But for some odd reason, you guys are always reverting back to what's the negative about a situation.
Oh, we're going to get there, Sneed. We're going to get there.
You know what I'm saying?
Are you referring to my tone or when you say the tone?
The tone of the channel, the tone of the chat, the tone of everybody. Because the focus, because the thing about Bronny is, and I'm going to just end this here because I'm just tired of this conversation. We need to move on anyway. The conversation should be Bronny. Y'all want to talk LeBron. That's the problem. And you guys don't see it because you can't separate it.
You can't.
That's y'all problem
because he won't
because I do.
Be separated. Go ahead.
So you can't when I'm the living proof. I'm right here. So
I think what's happening is what we thought was going to happen when they said they declared that they was going to draft him at 55th. That LeBron was going to step in front of and try to shield everything. It got too much for him, and then he started airing out Stephen A. on the sideline. Fast forward now, he's like he dropped 17 points, and it's like everybody's like, "Oh man, he's nice." I would have liked to have seen this kid get the shit out the mud, man. I would have liked to see him go to the Wizards, earn his spot like everybody else, the Clippers, and go against the best talent in the league. If you get your ass busted, you get your ass busted. All right. That's only going to make you better. But like every time is a tough competition, he go back down to the G League, and then they bring him back up when it's like advantageous to him. Like that's not helping Shorty. Like that's not. He need to be in there every day getting that work. That's the only way he gonna get better. That's the only way people gonna respect him. Like, oh, you gonna be constantly fighting and shit, and his father's still gonna be trying to coddle him. Like you can't coddle him. And this, you put him in this league, let him get that work.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, you got the position to put him in the game whenever you want to put him in the game, right? You can control how many minutes he get. Put him in the game, let him get that work like everybody else. They
Right.
can't because they still need to make the playoffs. They still need to be competitive. So why bring him over here so you can cuddle him? You could have just sent him somewhere else and just let him get that work. That's it. Like it's just basketball. It's nothing else against Bronny, man. But his father, I think he set him up for failure in the long run because at some point, if he's gonna have a long career, he gonna have to get that work, man. Like his father ain't gonna be able to coddle him. He should get it day one like everybody else. That's all I'm saying.
Amazing how nobody attacking G, how they attacking me. It's all good. I'm used to that.
What? I ain't say nothing wrong, bro. I didn't say anything wrong.
Nor did I.
Nor did I. Man talking. You want somebody to bash you, G. G, you're wrong. I'm sorry, G, you're wrong.
Bro, like,
I'm used to it, though.
No, I'm not wrong. Like,
but hey, I know I ain't wrong too, but I'm used to it.
I know damn well I ain't wrong. Y'all just can't control your own emotions. That's crazy.
Two things can be true.
Put him in the fire. Let him. You throw him in the fire. Let him get that work, man.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Real quick before we open up the phone lines for this topic, because I know we're gonna get a couple calls on this. Very interesting though, for all of his now achieved greatness and how far he's come. 0 points last night and 0 for 4 from the field. But yeah,
it's the difference between when you're not playing full minutes between you just in there for 7 and it's kind of sporadic. But of course, again, we don't look at the whole thing. We look at bits and pieces. So
okay. All right.
Again,
I mean, I just thought I would,
because if you know basketball, because I thought you played in D3 or played against D3.
I play against a lot.
There's a thing called rhythm.
Yes, there is a thing called rhythm. Absolutely.
Yeah, so 30 minutes is a lot of rhythm.
That's a lot of rhythm.
Real game.
I can agree with that.
7 total minutes. You're here for a minute, you're back out. You're here for 30 seconds, you're back out. There's no rhythm.
So I agree wholeheartedly with that. But they are trying to tell me that he crossed some border and he's at some next level now.
Think about it. Okay, what did he do for you? That's my question.
Smith, huh?
What did this game do for you?
Which game?
The 17-point game.
17-point game?
What was the 17-point game?
You know what? The 17-point game, and if you remember when I was playing the B-roll, I was saying he did some nice stuff there. Love the way he came off the pick, pulled up for the 3. I love that pretty outlet pass he made to Marcus Morris Sr. Marcus or Markeith? Marcus Morris Sr. Marcus, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. I love the pretty perfect, like on a dime outlet pass he made to him for the finish, for the lay. When we both said at the same time, good take. When he hit that pick, went downhill, boom, with a strong finish at the rim. Like I said, while he was playing, he did some good stuff. I said that. See, this is what I'm talking about. And this is what I'm going to say.
And you could stop it right there. Do you know that?
Worship somebody, you're a hater. And guess what, guys? I'm never going to worship this guy. I'm never going to worship Bron. I don't do that. There's no player I worship. I'm not doing that. Okay? So if y'all expecting that from me, I guess I'm just going to be a hater forever because I'm not worshiping these dudes like you want me to. It's not going to happen. Okay? I have come on this show, said I was wrong about what I said about the G League multiple times. I've come on this show and I've said that I thought that he had a very solid ceiling for what he can be in the NBA. I've come on the show and said he's had the tools. My biggest issue has always been the other stuff that Transformer doesn't like to hear about. That's been my biggest issue. But I've always said from the beginning, I got no problem with Bronny. I said that. I said I wish Bronny success. I said that. I give Bronny props when he does what he does, but nobody hears that because I'm not going to do certain things some of y'all other people want me to do. And it's not going to happen. So deal with it. It's not going to happen. So if that means I'm a hater to y'all, yeah, I'll take that. Whatever. Because I'm not going to be how y'all want me to be. Plain and simple.
Yeah, you can't just talk about the game. You got to talk about stuff. Yeah.
I have given him props. All right, you good. Yeah, you just completely ignore.
Like I literally just showed you how to do it and you stopped yourself and kept going. I asked you a simple question. What did I ask you?
You asked me what did he do for me in the game the other night, and I told you what he did.
But you kept going on to now.
No, because I
got to push about something else.
No, because
that's all I wanted to hear. That's the only question I asked. See how you're elaborating on something that don't need to be talked about?
No, I got to make it a point to let y'all know because y'all want me to do something that y'all do, and I'm not doing that.
That wasn't the question. How are you over elaborating on something that I didn't even ask you? That's what I'm talking about.
Hey,
make it clear.
Young boy Bud from Baltimore, man. He surpassed elite list of players. Make 250 assists this season and 100 plus.
Damn. Okay. That's fine.
What's that, high school?
Nobody's done that before?
In the NBA. No, Kobe and Jokic.
That's impressive, though.
Wait, who are you talking about?
250 points, 250 assists, 103 points, and
that's impressive.
20.
That's what's up. All right, let's go ahead.
His name Bub Carrington. He played for.
Got it. Okay, good. I couldn't hear it. It was like I'm like, but who we talking?
Well, he was talking, and then I was trying to talk, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna wait till he's.
Yeah.
My bad. Shout out Bub Carrington. We actually did a segment on him a while back. We might need to revisit that.
Yeah, about 2 months
in terms of what he's doing.
Yeah.
More towards before the season started. So
yeah, it was good, man. It was good.
Yeah. All right, let's do it, man. Let's open these phone lines up, man. 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. Y'all know the number.
And if you don't know, now you know.
I wonder if there's something wrong with my. Oh, okay. Here we go. Sid Bubba, what's going on, Chief? How are you?
I'm doing real good.
Yo, you terrible, man.
I'm terrible.
What's going on, Chief?
Nothing much.
All right.
First of all, I love this topic. This was Bruce, man. You good. This was my suggestion, Laker Nation. I know he's mad. I know he's seething. The Lakers lost. Get over it. Get over it, Marine.
Lakers gonna be fine,
tough.
Man.
Be tough about it. Nah. First point I wanted to make, despite, let's just say, what LeBron put him through and the Stephen A. Smith, I have to give this young man credit and being the keep even killed and him being an adult between a 40-year-old and 60-year-old.
Absolutely. 100%.
That's my take up. He the one kind of calm and cool.
Yeah.
And the comments he said, all I'm going to do is get reps and work. That's right. What he should do.
That's right.
All right.
Let me interrupt you 1 second, Sid Bubba. Let me interrupt you 1 second, Chief. Transformer, why you didn't attack him for bringing up LeBron just now? You see how that works? Why you didn't attack him? He just brought up LeBron.
I got a phone call, bro. I didn't even hear what he said, to be honest with you.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Chief.
No, you know what? What did you say, Sid? Because if you said something about Bron, I don't care. I tuned it out anyway.
Right, I said something about Bron. Despite how Bron kind of brought him in the situation, and despite how Stephen A. acted, he's the 20-year-old. He's acting more composed than the 40-year-old and the 60-year-old because he's doing what he's supposed to do and doing his work.
Yeah, correct. My response to that is that, again, I don't give a damn what LeBron says, thinks, or does. That's what I'm a grown man, Sid. I'm a grown man. Right. I care about Bronny's game, the conversation about Bronny's game, and I can leave it to Bronny's game because that's what I want to talk about. When you piss me off is when you drag the daddy back into the conversation. And when you want to, all the hate and stuff that was given now, why do we got to change and talk about this?
Right.
It says Bronny's career night. It didn't say what the hell Bronny thought about. I mean, what the hell Bron thought about Bronny's career night.
Right. But my point was on how the young man handled everything.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
he did a great
job.
He
handled it. That's
Absolutely.
what I'm saying.
What he says, what he does. Absolutely.
Yeah, because, it's old saying he's between the shovel and the spade, but he's doing what he's supposed to do. That's all he can do.
Absolutely.
The second thing is, now, it's this topic and him scoring the 17 points, this is just only at the moment. he's still growing.
Mhm.
So it can't get blown, too high or too low. That's what I'm saying. Because he did show promise from where he was at, and he's
Yes.
showing growth.
Absolutely.
And as a Lakers fan, I'm pretty glad because this is a prospect we could have for the future if he fully develops. If he's like, I don't know, Bobby Jackson or Drew Holiday, I'll take that during the 55th pick. If he would be Patty Mills. If he's a contributing player to us getting a championship in the future,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not looking at right now. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are they're looking at. I'm looking at him towards the future. He's only a kid and he's only growing. And that's kind of what I was trying to say, man. I was just like, I give him some grace. His daddy is Stephen A. Whatever it is going to be is in the media, but I give the kid props for how he's handled himself.
Yeah.
And
100% right, Chief.
Right, but there too. And I looked at it this way, and I'm getting to my boy Gino on this one. If he went to the Wizards, or it would sicken me if he went to Bruce Celtic and this boy dropped 17 in the game and nothing like that. That would sicken the hell out of me. But probably for him to grow up, you might have to get away from home to develop a little bit different.
That's funny, Chief, that you say that because all of us who have served kind of understand like how that works. I mean, some of us got in older than others, but when you see the younger kids, 17, 18 years old and they join the military, they get that opportunity. So I totally get where you're coming from with that.
Yeah, I was one.
Yeah, so that's different. But yeah, as far as how we doing as the Lakers right now, okay, Bronny couldn't have had an impact on losing because all the starters were gone, number one. Number two, on the next game, we had the starters in, and then they got cooked a little bit because they had to get back to trying to play with one another to fill each other out. So it shouldn't, what could Bronny do in that? Nothing. The only thing he can do is play when he can play with
And
the time given and make the best of it.
Yeah, absolutely. And realistically, I was being more facetious about it just based on the way that, so many people in the mainstream media and others are behaving in terms of this whole thing.
Right.
But, you can see that some people get a little sensitive.
Right. Yeah, but here's the deal. Because when it first came up about, I remember we first talked about this. Well, what are you going to do? Then how you play? Then what Stephen A. did? I followed the whole timeline. And like I said, all this was never really about Bronny. It was about LeBron and Stephen A. Bronny was just the pawn in that between them two, going back and forth over the boy negative. To me, all I see is that when I say a 55th pick, it shouldn't be covered like that, a 55th pick. And I get what a lot of guys saying, but that media input puts it that way. And he had to handle that. I don't know if anybody, else, who else could really handle something like that at age 20? A lot of 40-year-olds wouldn't know how to act on that.
True. Did we lose him?
I don't know. You still there, Chief?
What you got to say, G?
Oh, okay. You faded out for a second, Chief. Say that again.
Okay. No, I was just saying, far as with running, he's fit for the pick. Well, everybody say, well, it's hard to give him grades and whatever. Well, don't blame Bronny for that. That's the media's fault, not his.
But see,
and his dad. We can throw daddy in there too. But I'm just saying, that's it. Yeah.
I'll just say, Chief, though, that's the thing, right? Nobody's blaming Bronny for anything. I think that's the part so many people are missing.
Right.
If you notice, nobody's blaming Bronny for anything. I said from the very beginning, and I know I got this rep that I hate Bronny because I hate Bron and the hate transferred and all this. I said from the very beginning, I wish Bronny the best. I don't want the kid to fail. I want the kid to succeed. I just didn't like how it happened. That's all. Right. So I don't know where this business of, everybody's hating on Bronny or this, that, and like, really? That's just dumb. But anyway.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this though, Bruce. No, seriously. Some guys are gonna have, and some guys are just gonna be mad because they hate the daddy and hate how daddy moves. That's just the nature of the beast.
Precisely, absolutely.
So, like you say, his name is Bronny James. They just gonna do it. But if I'm looking at it, and I give you that, Bruce, I can say this: when you say you played good, you played good. You played bad, you played bad. That's all anybody can ask. Me as a ball player. In the days that I have my good days, I have my good days.
Right.
If I don't, I don't. Right. Stephen A. did that. So I one thing you can say, me as a Bron fan, what did I say from the jump? This wasn't about Bronny. This was about him and Dad.
You did. But you got anything else, Chief? Go ahead and open
but I ain't forgot about you, G, on that bet with the Lakers. We ain't gonna be good. We'll see.
He said first round, Chief. He said first round.
Yeah.
I need my crawfish. I need my crab leg.
The only way that happens is if the Lakers somehow drop to the 8th and got play OKC. Other than that, I think that's a given. Lakers are a good basketball team, man. I hate them, but they're a good basketball team.
No. Shut up, Bruce. Let G take it on the chin. He said first round. I want first round. First round. First round, we better be eliminated. If not, G, don't come on the show for 3 weeks.
Just let it be known. I'm not involved in none of that.
Bro, the Lakers is not that serious, sir. Hold on.
Bruce, you straight.
The Lakers is not that serious. That if y'all make it out the first round, I'm not gonna come on the show, bro. Be for real, man.
You don't want to see we gonna get
for real, bro.
Y'all not even gonna make it out the first round.
No, we gotta come up with a bet for this, y'all. We gotta come up with a bet for this.
Oh yeah, I'm looking. I ain't forgot, G. You got the posters of the big French guy ducking on the bun. I'm gonna send them that. Just the most.
The forklift driver.
I forgot who I was talking to.
That's good. All right, Chief, man, we gonna let you go, brother. Thank you for the call, man. I appreciate it.
All right.
Oh man. Okay. Anybody else want to call in on this topic? 904-219-8264. 904-219-8264. There we go.
Oh man, I ran out.
Steve, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Good, man. What's up, fellas? What up, G? What up, Transformer? What up, Twizzler? Hey, G, I like that background, man. I've been getting in your head. I finally see some Baltimore out in there, man. I'm telling you, though, we'll bring you into the Pittsburgh fanhood. When Aaron Rodgers comes, I'm telling you, we will open arms. We'll accept you with open arms. Once A-Rod comes to Pittsburgh.
What's that, Dave Chappelle?
I don't like that move for y'all, man. Not because y'all extreme competitors, but just the Pittsburgh, the matchup. My Sundays won't be the same if y'all pick up Aaron Rodgers and he don't play, or he play like he was playing at the Jets. So I think y'all should stay where y'all at and get a quarterback that's gonna come out there and play. This is his first year in that offense, and nobody knew the offense. From what I heard, no one knew what was going on. That was something that Najee Harris said about your team. Like nobody really understood the offense. So it'll take a little while. I think Aaron Rodgers get there. You gonna want him to play immediately. You gonna want championships first year, and I don't think he's there yet. So, but I never go over there. Doesn't matter.
I know. I gotta get you, bro. I gotta get on you. I just noticed that Baltimore background. I was like, yes, I'm in his head. It ain't the purple paint, but it's better.
What you got on the topic, Steve?
Hey, I was in and out. I didn't hear everything. I just want to give a few thoughts. Mm-hmm. First off, Bruce.
Yes, sir.
This hating has got to stop, bro. This is intense. Did you not see that 17-point game?
Oh, my gosh.
This is insane, dude. When are you going to give the next king his flowers, bro? Like this, all the negative
Prince. He's a prince, man. He's a prince.
Like, I can't handle this. I can't.
Steve, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry, Steve.
Well, I just think it's appropriate that if we are going to
if we're only going to talk about the negative things as far as like bringing up context, it's like, yeah, they sat all their starters. It was a non-competitive game. It was a 30-point blowout. And just, I don't understand why we have to talk about that. So just read the box score. 17 points. Bronny was in his bag, bro.
He wasn't
out trolling. He was.
Yeah, he was in his bag. I'll give him, and I gave him credit for that. He was.
I just look at that. Maybe I'm a hater. I get it, but like I just look at that as another like G League performance. So I hold that to a standard where it's like that was a non-competitive game. Like if any other second round pick would have come in when everybody sat their starters and scored 17 points, it would be a nothing burger. Nobody would talk about it.
That's his That's his all.
This is where I understand where Transformer comes from, though. When he was talking, a little bit I heard he was saying it's like, let's just talk about Bronny and his game. All jokes aside, I'll be serious now. Like when you talk, like when you analyze Bronny, let's just talk about Bronny and leave out LeBron. Like I get where he's coming from, and that is a fair way to assess this. But my counter would be like, given the nature of the way things have gone to start his career, it's difficult to have that separation, if that makes sense. Like, I understand what you're saying. It's like, let's just analyze Bronny on his own game, let him be his own man. That's what we're saying as far as his entire coming into the league, being drafted. We were like, let's just let him be his own man, let him be his own guy. But because LeBron was so influential in him getting drafted to his team, because we all know it, like, it was a very manipulative way, not in a deceitful, but manipulative as far as like his hands were on this. So it's like I understand when people say, let's just evaluate Bronny, but it's difficult because LeBron's hands are so over this entire. It's just so orchestrated. It's hard for us to say like we agree with you. Let's just evaluate Bronny. But that's not how his career started. It started off with LeBron being so tied into this. I can understand why people look at Bronny now and it's like, how do we fairly evaluate him and not bring up LeBron? Because this wouldn't even be anything. Nobody would be talking about a G League guy scoring 17 points in a game. Nobody would be covering Bronny the same way if it wasn't because of his dad having such a factor in how things have come about in his career so far. But I do agree he has played a lot better. But the problem is it's hard to give like a fair standard of this because do we evaluate Bronny on his own and leave LeBron out? But it's like Bronny probably wouldn't be in this situation if we were to just leave LeBron out completely because we know this is how we got here is because of LeBron's influence in all of this. So it's like I don't think anybody's wrong. I just think people are kind of talking past each other. And the problem is, like, where Bruce, I think you're coming, I don't mean to speak for you, but where I think you're coming from, someone like where I come from, it's like we have such coverage and hype and media attention towards Bronny when someone who's not in the LeBron worship circle actually gives a fair criticism of Bronny. A lot of it gets seen as hateful and critical. And it's like, it's not. I think it's just a fair assessment. I just think a lot of the narrative is painting such a positive media circle for Bronny that when somebody is like, okay, 17 points, he's still a second-round pick. There's a lot of context in this game where it was non-competitive. Did he play well for Bronny's G League standard? Sure. But it's like, does it really matter? Is it worth this glorified media circus where it's like, dude, it's just 17 points in a non-competitive game. When anybody else, it'd be a nothing burger. Nobody would be talking about it.
Right.
So there's a lot of like build up into the coverage of Bronny where it's like, I do understand where it's like, yeah, we want a fair shake and give him his own proper analysis, but it's like, it's hard to leave LeBron out because of the context where it's like, we couldn't even do that with his draft status. It was like, you had to include LeBron because we would probably agree he got drafted because of LeBron, which, that is what it is, but we're here now. So it's like, if you want me to leave LeBron out of analyzing his game now, but at the time it's like, how I couldn't leave LeBron out as to where we got here because LeBron had his hands all over the draft situation and getting him in LA with him.
Great point, Steve. Great point.
But Yeah, Bruce, the hating's got to stop, bro. It's getting out of control.
I'm going to try, man.
Troll hat back on.
These negative comments and highlights. I just don't like reading them, man. It bothers me, man. It affects me. I want a G League statue of Bronny outside of the G League facility, and if he doesn't get it, then this 17-point game it means nothing. It was all for nothing. If we're not going to recognize tonight with a statue, I don't understand what we're doing here.
Fair enough, Steve. Fair enough.
Anyway, I'll get off here, man. I just want to drop some of my thoughts. Y'all have a blessed day. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir. Great comments.
Always good seeing you, Steve.
All right, fellas.
Thank you, brother.
That's funny.
Well, hearing him, I guess we ain't seeing him.
Hearing him, right.
Yeah,
all right, well, let's go ahead and let's take it to the last topic, and then we'll get out of here so everyone can enjoy their Sunday. Definitely wanted to address wait, hold on. Laker Nation.
Oh, you ain't moving on without talking to me.
All right, man. We here. What's going on, Laker Nation? Shout out to you.
You ain't moving on without talking to me, Bruce. How dare you even attempt to do that?
I didn't think you were calling, man. I didn't think you were calling.
Did he call one time, Bruce?
Man.
Oh, no. I think he called while Steve was on, or while Chief.
No, I called. No, Steve was and Steve was on.
Okay, my bad.
Yeah,
all right.
But that was a good call by Steve. Trolling Steve, my guy.
Right. Yes, sir. What you got, Laker Nation?
Man, I'm gonna stick to the topic.
Yes, sir.
For once in my life, I'm gonna stick to the topic.
Okay.
So Transformer don't be telling you to cut me. Don't hang up on me.
I mean, I can hang up on you now for that comment.
What I'm mad about is why they not talking about when Bronny crossed over Giannis.
That was mean. No, that was a great move. Yes.
And Giannis and Giannis fouled the dude and he didn't get no free throws. And that's a travesty right there.
You heard what it? Well, he's a rookie, so I guess he's got to earn those calls.
Man, nah, man. You got to blow that whistle, man. You got to give that man his free throws. He should have had 19.
It was a great move, though. It was a mean cross. You're right.
Man, what I liked was that fact that he wasn't, like, he normally would pass out of situations like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like that he took it on the chin and went at that dude.
Yeah. I like how he looks like even his first step has gotten quicker since he first came into the league. Like, he's really getting downhill sometimes, and that looks good. So definitely.
And he was getting downhill every time he touched the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He was attacking.
Yeah.
He was getting to his spot. He was hitting his pull-up. He was getting good elevation on his jump shot.
Yep. On his floaters.
Especially that free throw line pull-up that he did when he came off the screen. He had the wide open. Instead of like trying to panic, he just settled in, pulled up, took that mid-range and laced it.
Yeah, I like how he took that screen on the right wing. He just went right over the screen, pulled up for a three. Looked real smooth in rhythm. I mean, he definitely showed some stuff. There's no question about that.
And the confidence is just the confidence is there.
Mm-hmm.
The confidence is confidence is getting there. I wouldn't say what Steve talking about putting a statue in front of the G League facility. Now that's doing too much.
Steve.
but that's my man Steve.
Yes, sir.
But what I will say is he looks like a 55th fucking pick. Just call a spade what is call a spade a spade. He looks like a 55th pick.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to bring up that we haven't been talking about the number one pick at all this year. The dude in Atlanta.
Sorry.
Who's having an average season. We're not going to talk about Alex Sarr, who's having an average season for a lottery pick. We're not going to talk about Reed Shepherd. We're not going to talk about Zach Edey. We're not going to talk about the 11th pick who had a career night last night, which is what we should be talking about.
I wanted to bring that up. Yeah,
blazing the 55th pick all over the place. But I'm happy that the kid finally.
Absolutely.
Had a decent game on the NBA level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right.
Like, Well, he wouldn't be in the situation if the boy couldn't hoop. Let's put it like this. It just, at the start of the season, yes, we had ammunition to say what we had to say based on what we've seen prior to the draft. We have right to be. I'm talking about the Laker fan. Mm-hmm. We have right to have our concerns, but at the same time, it was a 55th pick. It shouldn't have been out everywhere like it was. Mm-hmm. Point blank. But the only people that really should have had something to concern were true Laker fans, not anybody else. Because he's not on nobody else's squad but the Lakers. Now he's coming to his own. Hey, next year I would love to see him in the regular rotation and averaging 10 points a game. That would help us get over the hump and get on that championship level where we belong. So we can silence you about this. Oh, we the winningest franchise. I'm getting sick of hearing that shit from you, Bruce. We can hang up that 18 banner on you, so you be sick for a whole summer. Mm-hmm. He's gonna be a key. He's gonna be a key piece.
But according to G, we ain't making it out the first round. So I don't know. I don't know about all that now. I'm confused.
I mean, the way they talk about y'all, they might just put y'all in the finals just so they had something to talk about every week.
G wasn't the first person I've heard say that. You know what I'm saying? Lakers got more haters than all the teams in the league combined. They want to see us fail. They just mad because it's not consistent. Our failures is not consistent. It lasts for a season and then we back on top again. That's what they hate. That's what they mad about. They want to see us turn into the Washington Wizards, and it's not going to happen. We may have 4 or 5 seasons where we're down, or the 90s where the whole 90s, that was Jordan's time. That was like a darkness in our history. But other than that, every decade we put up a banner.
Literally.
So, and that's going to continue into the future. We're going to turn into the New York Yankees. We're going to get 22 in Bruce's lifetime.
The Yankees have 26, but go ahead.
So, 22, 26. My bad. I don't go with the Yankees. That's even better. We can get 26 in your lifetime, Bruce. I would still be a member of your podcast, and I'd be like, I told you so.
Ain't gonna happen.
On March 23rd, 2025, I told you so. Mm-hmm. But I got one more question for you, Bruce.
Go ahead, man.
When are you gonna start giving your boy Jason Tatum his flowers, man?
What is
talking all this BS about your boy Jason Tatum?
What is it with you? All right.
Because the dude's top 5 because the dude putting the top 5 stats across.
I said he's top 5
across the board, and is a leader in your team, and leading them to the number 2 record in the East.
I said he's top 5. I never said any of that was untrue.
He was the only American player, first team All NBA.
I've said that too multiple times.
Oh, I'm just trying to see. You got me defending Jason Tatum. He a fucking Celtic.
I'm trying to figure that out too.
Your own squad.
Okay. See, this is what
that young man all over the place, man. You root for the Celtics? You a Lakers fan? That's crazy. That's what y'all doing over there, man.
I'm sweating.
That's all I gotta say. I'll let the show move on. That's all I gotta say.
All right, Laker Nation. I appreciate the call, brother. Thank you, man.
I ain't like none of that. I don't like how he just did that. Like, what? Stop. We ain't talking about no dang Jason Tatum. I don't care.
I don't even. This is real talk, and we're gonna move on in 1 second. This is what I talk about when I say if you don't worship somebody, you're not giving them their flowers. When have I not given Tatum his flowers? Remember, me and G used to get into it because I'm trying to tell him Tatum is a top 5 player in the league.
Yeah, he calls him Drake. Oh yeah, Ben Simmons. That's what it was.
Well, there you go. But the point is, when have I not given Jason Tatum? Somebody, one of y'all, one of my even Tatum his powers. Somebody tell me.
The only time you don't talk about Jason Tatum in I wouldn't even call it a negative way is when you say he's not the face of the league. He hasn't earned it.
Not giving him his powers. I don't.
It's not a negative.
Oh, my whole thing is he doesn't have to be. He's still a great player. All right. Let's okay. All right, Joe. Let's do one more topic and then we go. Transformer. I don't understand it.
He was so bamboozled. He's stressed.
He's like, I don't care. Okay. A more serious topic, or I should say, a more somber topic.
Man, why you got George like that, yo?
Oh man.
Facts. He could have put up the old school one. He put up the old one, bro. Hey, we gonna give you 2 minutes. Go get a new thumbnail of him in his prime. Put it up there.
You know why I didn't?
When he was selling grills.
Him in his all the pictures of Foreman in his prime were such low resolution. I couldn't use them for the thumbnail. I couldn't find a good one.
Gee,
don't worry.
He put the grill maker on it. He put the boxer. About the one that made the grills. The grill maker, not the boxer.
Yo, y'all are the worst. Yeah, y'all are the worst. Oh my goodness. Y'all foul, man. Okay, so can we get to the?
Okay, let me come up with myself, bro.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
He said, "Ding, ding, the burger's ready."
Goddamn panini grill.
Ding, ding, ding. The fight's over. The ding.
Oh my
Ding, ding was for the burgers is ready.
This is ready. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Y'all need help, man. Whew. Okay. So, all right. George Foreman, former 2-time heavyweight champion of the world, and most people would say a top 5 or 6 heavyweight of all time. He passed away on Saturday, right? Yesterday. Okay. Y'all messing me up, man. Yes, he passed away yesterday, and this will be a very short segment. George Foreman was great, man.
2 days ago, I'm sorry.
2 days, Friday.
March 21st, yeah. March 21st.
Friday, pardon me, y'all. Friday. Okay, so he passed away, age of 76. 2-time world heavyweight champion, Olympic gold medalist for the United States in the 1968 Mexico City Olympics, and one of the all-time greats. Power puncher, just an elite guy. For whatever reason, he's probably most known as a fighter for his loss to Muhammad Ali in the Rumble in the Jungle in 1974. But
I'm beating the dog crap out of Joe Frazier too. But you know,
we're getting to that. But the beautiful thing is, you know, after that, he took a hiatus from boxing, about 15 years, and then he came back and was able to win a second world championship at age 45. Absolutely incredible. As Transformer mentioned, won his first world championship, like he said, beating the brakes off Joe Frazier. And if you actually listen to the call on this was legendary by Howard Cosell. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Right. That was insane. And oof, my goodness.
First of all, that punch was disrespectful.
Yeah,
that punch was disrespectful, bro.
You know what? Listen, all credit due. Joe Frazier kept getting up and kept trying to fight. He had the real heart of a warrior here. But they always talk about styles making. Yeah. And he did not have the style to beat George Foreman in this matchup. George Foreman knocked him down 6 times in 2 rounds, and the fight was stopped. And if that was today, Frazier wouldn't have missed the first round. He got knocked out 3 times in the first, 3 times in the second. It was a brutal beating, man. And George Foreman he beat up a lot of dudes, just insane puncher power, one of the most powerful punchers ever. And then, as we mentioned, he comes back at the age of 45. He has his comeback. He loses to Evander Holyfield. Michael Moorer beats Evander Holyfield, and then a couple fights later, he gets the fight against Michael Moorer, in which he ends up winning his second world championship, which was, something nobody thought he could do when he came back. Just incredible. Yeah, he laid him right there. 1-2, vicious 1-2.
Bro was leaking.
What was he?
Oh.
He tried to get up. He tried. He just he couldn't do it. And so just wanted to take a second and again, quick segment. Just get boom. Ooh, that right cross, brutal. Ooh, crucifix the.
More. He probably could have got up. Like I think he could have got up. What? He just was just like, why? Why am I getting up?
You know what I'm saying? And if you're a boxing fan, man, go back. What's going on? It's not that serious, man. You caught us right at the end. But if you're a boxing fan, I would say really go back and take opportunities to look at George Foreman fighting. And he wasn't the most technically adept fighter, man, but his size and power was absolutely absurd. And you saw when he hit somebody almost every time they went down, which is incredible to think that the great Muhammad Ali with his rope-a-dope was able to survive George Foreman for 8 rounds before he defeated him. But yeah, George Foreman, all-time great. If you're a Christian, while he was away from boxing, you know that he really embraced Christianity. He became a preacher. So, obviously never a minister. Thank you. Never a bad thing turn into God, right? Always a good thing there. So he really connected with his spirituality, became a minister, and connected with a lot of other people, through that, in terms of, helping them connect to a higher power as well. And then on the entrepreneurial side, as these guys were laughing about, he made the Foreman Grill, which made him tons of money and made him very famous to people who didn't even know about him as a fighter.
I got one.
We had one. We don't have one anymore, but yeah, the Foreman Grill. I used to make burgers on that thing a lot back in the day. But anyway, so yeah, entrepreneur, all-time great fighter. He had 5 sons, all named George, which I thought was interesting. And I believe he named his daughters Georgina. Really? So I believe so. Check that out. I believe he named his daughters after himself as well. So made sure that his name will carry on. Like there's no question about that.
No shit.
No, right?
Everybody's named George.
Yeah.
Look it up. Let me look it up.
Yeah, let me see if I can find that. But yeah, that's needless to say, just all-time great, man. All
he
time.
Has 12 children, 5 sons, 7 daughters.
Damn, I didn't know
his 5 sons are George Jr., George III, George IV, George V, George VI.
There you go.
Pull out the trash.
His daughters are named. One of them named Georgetta, but then the other ones are named Natalia, Leona, Frida, Mitchie, Isabella, and Courtney.
Okay, there you go.
One of them is named Georgetta. Yeah.
Okay.
Put George in there somehow.
Yeah, he got it.
George is in there.
But yeah, so just wanted to take a few minutes here to give George Foreman, give him his due, give him his respect. And I guess the last of the truly great heavyweights from that era is Larry Holmes, because now Ken Norton Sr. has passed away. The great Joe Frazier has passed away. Muhammad Ali has passed away, of course. And now George Foreman. So the last of the greats of that era is Larry Holmes, and he's still with us. So, yeah. But you guys' thoughts on George Foreman, kind of, I know you guys are, well, you're a little younger than me, Transformer, but what are your thoughts, man?
Just pure, when you go back, you look at the history of boxing, you can't mention it without mentioning George Foreman's name. And I think that's when you hit the legendary category.
Absolutely.
In your profession. Is it I can't talk about a certain era, or I can't talk about the sport if I don't mention your name.
Great point.
So that puts him in a stratosphere, in the, how am I say, on the court, but in that box, out the box, that you can't take away from him.
No.
To be able to put 76 fights, I want to say 76 fights.
Yeah.
And to be able to walk away and you die at the age of what? He's probably 72?
76.
Wow. Wow. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah. 81 fights. 81-5 with
76 wins is what I'm thinking about.
Okay, got you.
So he had 76 wins and he died at the age of 76. Right?
Yeah.
So like you had to catch up to your win total for your life to go past. I believe the average life expectancy for a black man is about 60, like 62 to 65, somewhere around there. Is the average. So he over exceeded the average life expectancy of a black man. So, but to endure all of that in the ring, all of that boxing, all of that wailing and things that he went through, and still be able to go and have a multi-million-dollar life afterwards, and be cognizant of it and to live a full life. Yeah, that's like the dream of a boxer or any type of like physical fighter, because everybody looked at and Ali was his era. So everybody looked at the Alis and was like, yo, what could that be me? Right? Or can CTE be a thing for this one as we got more into the NFL? Like, I took a lot of shots to the head. So is it a possibility for me? But to live a full life, man, you just got to respect it. Like I said, my favorite ass whipping will always be the Joe Frazier one. I was like, yo, like just disrespectful, bro. Like, you could have just like tapped them, like, bro, just go down and just stay there, because this is just getting uglier and uglier for you. Like, come on, like this one, okay, uppercut, fine. But anything after that was just like, why are you hitting him?
He kept getting up trying to fight. I mean, he had a warrior spirit.
I mean, this one, he's gonna turn and like he's walking away. Boom. Why you hit him? Like, bro. Ref, call the fight.
All right. Should have followed.
Throw the damn towel. Like, that was rude. Come on, man. Like, like this is the force, the power behind it. He was a man amongst boys in that sport, man. He was.
He was. Yeah. Frazier. Not Frazier, Foreman.
Oh man.
Besides the grill.
Nah, you can't mention George Foreman without the grill, man. I think
you know what? That's crazy. You're right.
That you got up there, that thumbnail is wild.
100 million units, man. 100 million.
It's a lot.
I mean, when I think about George, just a heavy hitter, man. Like, I remember hearing some of his remarks from some of his opponents was like, check his gloves at the round. Like, I think he got metal in him. Right. He pop so hard that like stiff jab, it looked like he was breaking necks with it. Damn. So it's like this guy was definitely one of them ones, man. Arguably top 5 when you look at like the old school boxers and who pretty much raised us around the boxing ring. Just this guy, like if you wasn't a boxer or if you wasn't exposed to boxing, you wouldn't know nothing about this dude right here. But if you did, man, you was definitely blessed and gifted with an art, man. He did not hold back, and he had a chin on him too. Like he took, like it was real heavyweight boxing then, boxing. And so, man, rest in peace to George Foreman, man. His story in itself is like it's one of those ones that should be like captured and remembered. Good guy, man, real good dude. And
absolutely.
Yeah, he only got knocked out the one time. And that was just like, it wasn't off of a blow. I think that was pure exhaustion. The man was exhausted. Like, yo, this man is not going down. And then he hits me with a boof. Like, if you look at him, he's like, I want to get up. I can't. I'm exhausted, bro.
Yeah. Absolutely. No. So shout outs to George Foreman, man. And may you rest in peace, man, because it appears that's what he deserves. So, yeah.
No, absolutely. Man made an estimated total over 200 million.
I just looked that up too. I was going to say.
Oh, you did? Okay, go ahead. You got
it up as well. No, you got it.
Yeah. Okay. Now, yielding an estimated total of over 200 million just from the endorsement. That's through 2011. So anything past that is probably even higher. Substantially more than he earned as a boxer.
The fighter, yeah.
So 81 fights, 76 wins, 68 by KO.
Yeah.
A grill.
It's
what netted him the most profitable money he's ever seen.
Yep. When the Sultan Company bought the grill out, they bought his rights for $137.5 million.
That was in 1999. That's a lot of money in 1999.
That's a lot of dough. Yeah.
That's a lot of dough. Prior to that, he was paid about 40% of the profits on each grill sold, earning him $4.8 million a month.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of dough. We're talking prior to 1999.
Right.
That's a lot of money in the 90s.
Back and watching that money roll in.
Like 4.5 a month?
That's good money. It's good money.
Man, wasn't even making out a fight. And that takes 6 months to prep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Well, back then, probably 3-4 months. They bought
still $48 million a year.
Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, let me
anyway, shout outs to Big George. Shout outs to Big George, man. But we are going to leave it right there, y'all. And we are going to allow you guys to go and enjoy the rest of your Sundays. As always, we appreciate you so much for being here. Appreciate you for hanging out with us. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe, y'all. And make sure you hit the share button. Anything else y'all want to add before we break?
Oh, I just found the estimated inflation. That would have been $250 million.
There you go.
That 138 million been $250 million now. That's how much he would have sold it for.
That's a lot of dough.
$250 million.
That's a lot of dough.
That's a lot of dough. That's a lot.
Oh man.
Go ahead.
Steve. Oh, you're right, Steve. You're right.
Steve is a clown, dog.
My dude, man. Steve is my dude. All right, y'all, man. Y'all have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and we'll be back with you next time. We out. Peace. Yes, that's why too.
Cease.